Every week.
Did everybody hear you?
I hope not. Not a,
These
right
guys
off-
always cussing me out before the show goes live.
right off the bat, it would be an explicit episode, and we'd be like, "All right, well,
The first 2 seconds.
first 2 seconds," and we call it. We basically call it a night.
What's on your shirt, Armand?
Oh, heda kırk
World
falan
War Lean.
My friend's daughter Emma got it for me. When did you guys get it for me? I forget, like maybe a year or 2 years ago.
Oh shit, still looks good on you, Arm.
All right,
It's a little loose on me now, but
Oh, okay. Arm's lost a couple pounds. already.
jeez. All right, all right, guys. The first thing I want to test out is this. I need everybody. Oh, my wife is just texting me. Okay, I need everybody to check.
FaceTime her.
No, because she's like, I'll tell you what the audio is like. I need everybody to tell us how the audio is. Is the audio low? Is the audio high? How is it? Because we're testing something out right now, and I just want to make sure our audio levels are okay. If you need us to crank it up, we can crank it up.
We're only episode 2 with
We're-
this.
It's not a COVID
Only
test,
do it.
guys.
It's not a
It's an
COVID test.
audio
There's always
test.
room for improvement.
Yeah,
Always.
you don't need to stick anything in your nose.
You can do the rectal test, but
Yeah, but the only reason why is because like I said, we want to make sure the levels are okay. Because what we could do is we can crank it up a little bit, but we don't want to blow out the audio on your end. So,
how's my voice? That's what matters. Can you guys hear my voice, or did this guy mess with my voice again?
Again.
Your voice.
Yeah.
again,
You have such a narrator voice, though. You know that.
And our guest
It's
today.
like hosts. Could
Oh,
be
yeah.
a narrator for.
again, I could say something right now that'll probably make the episode explicit, but I shouldn't.
Oh, you guys are always ready for that.
Absolutely, every
Literally.
Monday, every Monday.
Well, we're not called The View. There's a reason it's called The Wise Nuts.
Yeah, seriously. Happy Monday, everybody.
Happy Monday.
EGIM.
All right. We got to start off with that.
All right.
It's 5 o'clock somewhere, and I want to thank Alina Samvelian
Well,
for
apparently it
taking
was
time.
5 o'clock.
It was 5 o'clock somewhere.
For some people,
Seriously.
it's still 5 o'clock. Right now.
Nobody
Jesus
needs
Christ.
to know that.
Why not? It's,
Well, a little bit of wine doesn't hurt.
Yes.
I've never seen anybody do that in my life. I swear to God.
Seriously?
Martik bir de sen ne?
You need to visit Beirut, bro. Everybody does that. The canned alcohol
The cute
drinks.
little can stuff.
No, the
Yeah.
best part of it was like I didn't have time to drink. So I
So I decided to drink
on the way
while I
there.
drive.
It was only a 10-minute drive.
Alina,
It's
I
a
didn't
cute
even
little-
say anything. These two just.
You just ratted me out.
Oh.
Well, look at it this way. It looks like an energy drink. So
It is an
Exactly. It's in a
energy.
can.
Yeah.
It's not like in a glass beer bottle.
Did it give you
know?
energy, Alina?
I mean,
It's-
not
it's
that I
an-
need any.
We'll,
I'm
It's an
happy.
we'll
energy
see.
drink.
We'll
People
see.
call me the Energizer Bunny because I'm full of energy. But you know what? Loosening up a little bit before a
She
podcast.
got nervous, bro. She was about to sit down with the wise nuts, bro.
I don't blame you. I get nervous seeing
Yeah,
these
yeah.
guys.
Sitting with
that's
the
why we're always naked from the waist down.
Oh my god.
So happy Monday, everybody. Alina Samvelian is here with us.
Quick announcement before we get into it.
Oh, well,
yes.
can we announce
May
one
I?
thing?
Sure.
I was gonna say happy anniversary.
Oh, yes. That's what I
Happy
was
anniversary,
Two?
young man.
I was going to.
Armand.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I was just happy
Well,
anniversary.
not to Armand, to Armand Enani.
Yes.
Armand Enani.
7 years of marriage. On
Happily
behalf
married.
of, I guess, the three of us today,
Yes.
we'd like and our significant others and your future significant other and the Samvelian family.
Ooh.
We wish you guys health, happiness, and
Thank
prosperity.
you. Thank you.
Yes.
Many, many, many more years of love with Ani and your two boys.
Grab the
do-
tissues.
can we-
grab
can
the
we-
tissues.
Can we?
Baba, this guy
Just for
making
you,
me.
just for you.
What you are drinking today?
Oh
No,
my
that was not the
Ed.
right one.
Hey,
That was not the right one.
Look. You need to stop messing.
Just this one.
Stop.
Ed.
It's like you're like this 5-year-old at a
The
doctor's
retard-
office where you see the little
Hey,
thing.
we gotta move this shit around.
That retarded kid with the helmet who thinks he can DJ. Just calm down. Okay.
I think he was looking for this one.
That's the one.
There we go.
Good one. Good one.
What a.
Congrats to you
What a
guys.
schmuck. Thank
7
you.
years.
Happy anniversary.
Wishing you
Seven,
guys
7
the
years of
best.
marriage. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Two beautiful boys,
God
and
bless.
you know I love my wife more and more every day,
Beautiful.
and same with my boys.
I love it.
I'm happily married. I'm not single, ladies.
He's taking.
Lay off, everyone.
Lay off, okay, guys.
And gentlemen.
You gotta be inclusive in today's society. Bro.
Yeah, did you see what happened in Burbank?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Don't worry, we'll get into fly.
This is fun
Our
too.
guest today
We're
again.
only 7 minutes in and we've been banned from Twitter already.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Really?
No.
No. Just
we
Facebook.
were banned before the show. So.
Oh no.
Yeah, Facebook's banned us, and we still have that loophole that we could go live. So they've unlinked our Facebook and Instagram accounts.
You guys are causing a bunch of
Yeah.
trouble.
Thug life. That's how we look at it. So,
God.
anyways,
Anywho.
we were happy to meet the Sanvillian family. What was it? About 4 years ago, or 3 years ago?
No, was it?
Yeah,
4
3 years
years?
ago. I think 3.
2018?
Well, yeah, no, almost.
18, yeah.
2018, yeah.
Yeah, geez.
2018
Yeah.
was the first.
So
Bye.
we met you guys through
Armand.
Freedom Loving Youth and through Armund, yes. And you guys created this nonprofit organization where you go out to Armenia, Gyumri, one of the main cities, and you help families, orphans, basically get back on their feet.
Mhm.
And now a lot of people, when they think of, nonprofits, donating money to them, and then basically, the nonprofits going in and just handing out money. No, that's not what you guys do. Your organization, and obviously you'll touch on it for the viewers that are tuning in for the first time watching you guys, because you haven't been on for 2 years.
I know.
Tell us exactly, how Fly started and what you guys do, because it's very unique as far as the system that you guys use to help families out.
Yes.
Go ahead.
First of all, thank you guys for giving me the chance to be here again. 3rd time's in a row. 3rd time's a charm. I love it.
Your dad paid me well this time.
Speaking of which, we still have to get him on the show, Mr. Harpy.
Today's
He's
show is
been on
brought
our
to you
show.
by.
He's been on our show.
No, he hasn't.
He peeked in
he
once.
peeked in.
Yeah.
He picked him.
Yeah.
We all know what Vazgen is.
Okay, we've also peeked in while you were showering. So
Oh my God.
You do that
Yeah,
sometimes?
of course.
I feel this energy sometimes when I'm showering. It has
Oh
to
my
be you.
God.
An
the
experience.
Disgusting.
So thank
Sorry,
you guys so
we
much.
Don't mean to digress.
Don't worry. Thank you guys so much for giving me yet another opportunity to be here to talk about what I love most. And I'm sure we have a lot of viewers that know all about Fly, some that maybe it's not so familiar and it's new. So I definitely will be addressing, everyone that's watching. Thank you guys so much for everyone that's joined us. If I can sum it up, Freedom Loving Youth Fly is a 501c3 nonprofit organization that was founded by my mom and I, Caroline and I. And been around for 10 years, founded in 2012. I still can't believe it's been 10 years. I think this year that's what's hitting us. And it's,
How old were you?
it's-
12 when you started?
Thank you, Armand. No, I'm 27 now, so I was 17.
Wow.
And the main focus of the organization is to help impoverished children and families that are in dire need, specifically children and families that live in severe measures of poverty in Armenia, Syria, and Lebanon. The charity, when it was founded 10 years ago, the work began in Syria. We did a lot of work with kids that lost their parents in the war, that lost their homes. We aided them with all kinds of humanitarian aid. And then thank God when the war, calmed down, it wasn't until 2016, actually. 2016 was my first trip to Armenia. I grew up very high said my whole life, being born and raised here, but had never been to Armenia until 2016 when the Abrilian War broke out in the 4-day war in April. That was my first time visiting Armenia with my mom. And we originally stepped in to help families that, lost soldiers in the war and focus on families that are in Artsakh, Gyumri, and Vanadzor, and Spitak, and these families that have suffered from the earthquake's aftermath was not part of the plan. But it's as if, you end up going and God opens all these doors that you never even thought of. So when we stepped into Armenia, we completed the Artsakh project for the Abrilian War, and then we ended up in Gyumri. And it's as if, God opened these doors that we didn't even think of. And when we stepped into Gyumri, we saw the severe poverty there. The scent of the earthquake was still in the air, even though it had been 30 years that it had passed. And seeing all those containers, seeing the severe measures of poverty these families live in, we knew we had a lot of work to do here. So since then, my mom and I visit Armenia twice a year and directly work with our team out there that works day in and day out when we're not there. And incredible group of people that we join forces with, and we directly visit these families that live in these metal containers, understand about their lives and why they ended up to this severe poverty that they did. And all of them is the same story. Before the earthquake, their lives were great. They had everything. After the earthquake hit, they lost everything, and their lives just digressed from there. They've been in this dark hole, and they just haven't been able to stand up from it. Majority of them single mothers, fathers all fled to Russia to find work, never came back. And these single moms are very young, my age, if not younger, and they're left in that rotten metal container that doesn't have any running water, no plumbing, no bathroom, no shower, just nothing, with rats, with bugs, just unimaginable conditions. And we directly work with these families. Pretty much our process is we provide humanitarian aid, so pretty much everything that these families need to feel human, right? Because how can you stand up and find work and change your life if you're hungry, if you're cold, if you haven't showered, if you don't have the necessities that you need to feel like a human being? So we start there, and then when we get that problem fixed, we focus on long-term solutions like work, housing, and things to help them get back up on their feet. So that's what we've been doing the past 6 years, almost 7 years that we've been in Armenia.
Lena, can you talk about the vetting process with you guys? What's your vetting process like for a family to be included in Flyer?
Of course.
Or not?
Of course. So our team over there, yes,
We've had this discussion
Yes.
before, so I want to bring it up. So a lot of people might have that same.
of course, of course. So our team in Armenia, they are an incredible group of human beings. Each of which actually what makes their participation so special in Fly is that each of them have lived in a container back in the day. So they all have a taste of what that horrific poverty was like. So each of them, actually, a lot of them worked in the social center in Gyumri. So each of them are professionals when it comes to vetting, when it comes to doing background checks, investigation processes, to make sure that the families are who they say they are. Because unfortunately, in every country, in every culture, of course, you're going to have the category of people that lie, that deceive, that aren't who they say they are. So one thing that we're incredibly blessed with among the many things is that our team, they are incredibly skilled at making sure that we pick families that are who they say they are and families that are ready to stand up. This is something very crucial, you guys, that, whoever knows nonprofits and charities and putting fundraising events together, and whoever knows the heart and soul that we put into this work knows how difficult it is to do all this work and even just collect money, especially after everything that's gone on in Armenia. So the last thing that we want is for $1 of help to end up in the hands of the wrong people that are not going to utilize it to stand up and actually make great changes come about in their life. So we take that very seriously. So every single home that we enter, if we even get the scent of laziness in the air, we're out of there. There's no way that family gets our help, because there is absolutely no excuse for anyone, unless you're disabled or unless you're trying your best and just opportunities aren't opening up, for you not to go knock door on door every single day for you to find a job to feed your kids. So anyone that says in Armenian "Gors cheka," meaning there's no work, that's not an excuse. Are you out there?
Bullshit.
Exactly.
There's a ton of work there.
Exactly. So people that are hardworking, there's a saying in Armenian, "Karen tram gahanen." I think they will do anything to make sure that So we take that very seriously, that work ethic. And the reason is because if you end up providing aid to families that are going to end up depending on you, are lazy,
Are you helping or hurting at that point?
you're doing a disservice to them, definitely. So we don't associate with any families like that. Our main focus is to be that helping hand for families that are ready to change their life.
What's that old saying, right, about teach a
Fishing?
man how to fish,
Yeah.
and he'll eat forever, but give him fish and he'll eat 4 days.
Exactly.
Or the other way around.
I couldn't agree more.
Right, so that's what you guys are doing.
Yeah, it's give a man a fish, he'll eat for a day. Teach a man how to fish, he'll eat for life.
Yeah,
agree.
Yeah. Now,
That's
have either of you been to these domiks?
No, I have not.
Have you guys ever seen these domiks?
I have seen it. Yeah, 2003 I saw it in Lenogam.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah.
2004.
But the fact that
Because
I'm
from
I-
Gyumri, so
I
I
would-
went back to visit my.
Who's from Gyumri?
I'm from Gyumri.
I had no idea.
Yeah,
Have you
I'm-
told me this till now?
Yeah,
I'm sure.
he
I have.
advertises
He's
it almost
mentioned,
every
yeah.
week.
Like my building is no longer there. My building collapsed.
Oh, wow.
You actually went inside a domik or no?
Inside a dome?
Yeah.
No.
You just saw it from the
I saw it
outside.
from the outside. We saw the whole, bro. It looks like Skid Row.
So-
It looks like a camp.
Some of those families were given vouchers to get houses,
Mm-hmm.
but they sold off their vouchers. That's another thing that's
Another thing that also happened that I've heard testimonies from these families is, let's say every family, let's say Gevorkian family, is given a home, right? But that family grows, gets married, has kids. They can't all fit into that house. So what ends up happening, some members take it, other family members end up in the domiks, unfortunately. Yeah. that ends up happening as well. Quick question for you: you were born in Gyumri,
Yes.
and were you there when the earthquake happened?
No, we came back. No, I'm sorry, came back. We came to the States in June, and then the earthquake happened
In December.
December.
Oh my goodness.
So my
Wow.
uncle was my uncles were all there. My grandma was there, and I remember we were living in San Diego. My dad tells the story all the time. The neighbor came to us and said, "Do you guys know what's happening in your country?" And my dad was like, "What's happening in our country?" And he goes, "Why don't you turn the news on and see what's going on?"
Wow.
Because my dad was like, we were just here. We were getting on our feet, making sure my dad's work will be able to provide. So, we had a very small RCA TV, and it was one of those TVs that had the knobs in the front.
4 channels.
So they turn it on, and it says, Spitak, Armenia, Gyumri, Leninagan, Armenia, massive earthquake, and it was just for us, it was like panic mode because
Wow.
it's like our entire family is there. My dad's halal 3 brothers are there.
Anyone get hurt?
No,
Oh,
thank God.
God.
So my dad was like,
miracle.
and at the time there is no FaceTime, there is no cell phones, there is nothing like that. You had to go to the post office to make a phone call outside of the country. My dad contacted everybody he could, anybody he could, to get my uncle and the entire family, all my uncles and the entire family, even his nephews, to a post office. And he's like, I'm not gonna basically be satisfied until I hear every single person's voice. And they went to Yerevan. He spoke to everybody. He said, "Are you guys okay?" And my uncle would tell me the stories. He goes, "The earthquake hit, and I don't remember which floor they were on, but he was like, I grabbed Alan on one side and Armand on the other side, and he goes, I'm running down the stairs. Mind you, he left his mom there.
Wow.
He said, I'm running down the stairs, and all I realize is, he's like, I want to make sure I don't hit the kids anywhere because he was going back and forth,
Wow.
bobbing. He goes, I put the kids outside and I say, stay here, and then he goes back up and grabs grandma, and he comes back down.
Do you know what a miracle it is that none of them got hurt
Oh,
or,
yeah.
God forbid, passed away?
I know
Anyone that I know
There's
had family
very
there.
little family that haven't been affected. by
I know
it, right?
stories where a friend of ours, a family friend of ours who lived in Gyumri, the mom bought the daughter brand new shoes. I don't know if I said this story last time, and she said, "These are new shoes. Make sure you don't get them dirty at school." The earthquake hits, the school collapsed. You know what she did? She took her shoes off and she hugged her shoes, and the building collapsed on her.
Oh my goodness.
When they found her, you know what was the first thing she said? "Mama, look, my shoes are still clean."
Oh my goodness.
Wow.
This is a 6-year-old kid, bro. And she tells, when she told me that story, I was like, oh my. I'm like, what did you see? What did you hear? What was the experience? She goes, you have no idea.
You can't describe it.
I can't explain.
I was there when the earthquake happened, and I felt it in Albovian, but
Wow.
I'm sure it's not even close to what they
It
felt.
was horrendous. And the aftershock was just as strong as the original
Now,
earthquake. And
There's a lot of conspiracy tied to the
I've heard-
earthquake, guys. I mean, do I believe it? Yes.
No, it's
But I'm
poor
a conspiracy
construction.
theorist, so it should not.
do you guys know that when I was last in Armenia, an earthquake happened in
Really?
Gyumri? Yeah, I don't know if you guys remember that. It was really strong.
2019?
No.
No, sorry. You were
Last
there
time
last
I was
year,
there
no?
was in January.
This January this year.
January of
Okay.
this year. Yeah, the year
And
that
an
my
earthquake happened?
earthquake happened when I was in Gyumri. It was on a specific day. I can't remember what it was. Donmagad in Armenia. And an earthquake happened, and it was the funniest story. My mom and I were at our hotel in Gyumri. We were sitting on the bed, and my mom was talking to my dad, and I was on my phone. And all of a sudden, like, everything's moving, and my mom is thinking I'm like hopping on the bed, and
Wake
I'm
up,
thinking,
Mom.
and I'm thinking my mom is moving, and all of a sudden we look at each other, we're like, hold on, nobody's moving here. What is going on? And we realize it's an earthquake. We jump out of our seats. We go to get out of the room. The door is locked. By the time we try and unlock it, the lights go off. The door's not opening. It lasted for like a good 15-ish seconds, I would say, and it was strong.
That's
and
15 seconds is a long time.
the
for an earthquake,
terror
by the
that
way.
went through every Gyumretsi, I can't even imagine. I mean, we had the team call us. They were petrified. You know, every Gyumretsi that day really was traumatized because I'm sure they remembered what happened 30-some years ago.
I think it was episode, I don't remember which one it was so long ago, but Araksa Karapetyan, who was with us, she's from Gyumri. So she was there during the earthquake, and she told the story about what happened with her. And a couple of years later, she's in the States, she's working with Fox, and an earthquake hit live on TV. I'm sure you guys could find on her Instagram page, or if Alexia, you could share it with people as well. But the look on her face, the terror on her face, it was like PTSD.
Of course.
Because when you go through something traumatic like that, even the slightest little aftershock, it'll take you to a place where, like it's you don't want to be.
Of course.
My dad had friends who left left here, went back to Gyumri to help family and friends. They came back with white hair.
This is what domiks look like for those of you that
Yeah.
Yeah.
that aren't familiar
Like-
with what a domik is. It's basically like a
Metal container, shipping
container.
container. Yeah.
that's been
See, the ones you have up are
well over the years. What happens is these containers, as they fall apart, they just bring and add random pieces.
the ones on the far right are the ones that Armenia has a lot of. Those circular ones.
Yeah.
And one important thing to note, you guys, is the reason that these containers even came about is because back then when the earthquake happened, hundreds of countries around the world sent aid through these shipping containers. And what ended up happening is obviously thousands upon thousands of people. 25,000 were dead on the spot. 500,000 homeless. So where are these people going to live, right? So once all the aid was emptied out of these containers, they made homes out of them. They opened up windows, doors, and thought that they would be temporary dwellings until they get homes. And little did they know that 30 plus years and they're still going to be living in these things. And I personally remember my very first time when I visited one, and my mom had gone on the first fly mission without me. And so when she came back, she told me her testimony about what it was, and it was horrific. You know, it made me cry. It was unimaginable, but it pales into comparison when you go actually see it yourself. And I'm sure anyone that has had that experience, be it Armel, be it my dad when he first visited this past January, you know, I always hear, no matter how much you see pictures and videos or hear about it, it's a drop in the ocean compared to what it actually is.
Yeah.
I mean, when I was there, you know, I met up with Armina, your social worker.
Yeah.
Fantastic
Our
young lady.
Armenia
Yeah.
Team leader.
And she introduced me to that one girl whose family lives in a domik. Right.
Is it Oziv? She had like blondish hair. Did she wear glasses?
No, she didn't have glasses on. She was probably about 9-10 years old.
Did you meet the mom, the
No,
parents?
no, the
just
parents were
kids.
at work.
Ah,
Yeah,
okay,
and
okay.
the brothers were at school.
Okay.
She happened to be home, and she took us and showed me the domik, and I went inside. I mean, just imagine this, like, right? As a father, I have 2 young kids, 2 young boys. You guys
We all
both have
2
kids.
bro.
Imagine, and these kids are like the brightest, most
Very smart.
charismatic kids you'll ever meet. Much more than even the kids in the cities. Okay, these kids that have nothing are very smart and just very intuitive. The way they approach you, Shanorkin, everything. And this young girl walks me through her house as she's showing me. I mean, their toilet is basically a hole in the concrete. Okay, there's nothing, no toilet seat, no barrier for that child. So this child has to basically squat down to be able to pee or, you know, poop.
In the winter cold or in the summer heat.
Yeah, and they have like one couch that's probably been there for 30 plus years. An old TV that half the colors don't work, and you know, the fridge, which the fridge itself is not even really considered a fridge. I don't even know if that thing would keep anything cool. The walls are falling apart. There's no real shower. There's no real sink. No kitchen. I mean, it's just when you walk in there, you can't help but think like, how the hell can forget about the rest of it? Because I know there's billions of people don't even have access to clean water. 3+ billion people. So I can't say Armenia is unique and we have, you know, the whole world has to take care of us. No, there's billions of people that don't even have clean water to drink. So they all need help. But the fact that what I couldn't digest is you've got all these wealthy Armenians in Armenia driving around with their Rolls Royces and living in their $20 million mansions. I'm not talking about 20 million dirham. How these people live when there's 2,500 families in Gyumri, another 9,000 families in Vanadzor. Is it Vanadzor?
As far as living in containers,
Yeah,
Gumri is going to be the highest. So Gumri is going to be 2,500. I think Bonadzor is going to be less than that.
it's less than that. Okay.
Mhm.
So whatever those numbers are, like how that's what I couldn't digest is
Mhm.
because I saw some of these homes. I mean, somebody owns the whole mountain, and his kids each live in a mansion, and then some other guy that's got built a palace that's nicer than the Venetian at in Vegas. Or I mean,
A guy who's about to build the Jesus statue on top of a mountain.
that thing is costing him $2 billion. By the way,
Could you imagine what $2 billion would do?
Wait, that same individual took away the money he was paying towards college students, and Stepan Partamyan is taking care of that. So imagine he's cutting from projects that actually mattered, and we're building a statue.
because this is what I was thinking about too as I was discussing with Armin, because somebody asked why are we still in this condition. I mean, if you take Gyumri for instance, right, 2,500 families,
Mhm.
even if it cost $20,000 on a large scale, right, to build a couple communities can house that. Like if you build large communities, $20,000 per unit, that's $500 million, $500 million. It's not a lot of money considering the amount of money, let's say, Armenian government, the people in Armenia, and the diaspora has, where to alleviate these people so that they can have some dignity. You can't live in that home and have any dignity. You just can't. You have to see it to believe that, okay, there's no way this child can live here and have a proper education, have a proper future. It's impossible.
Do you? By the way, do you guys have? When we were at the gala in 2019, you guys played a video there where I got choked up to the max.
Still remember it till today.
I still remember till today.
Wait for another one
Okay,
this year.
do you have? Is that video on YouTube? Do we have access to it at all?
That video is on YouTube.
Is it
yeah.
on YouTube?
Yeah.
Can you see if you could pull up that video, because I want to play that video for everybody. Is it okay if we do that?
Yeah, no, it's totally okay.
But see, going back to what you were saying as far as running water, toilets, and all that stuff, we are so, when people talk about being privileged, this is what you talk about when you're being privileged. If we don't have water for a couple hours,
we freak
or
out.
if the water heater stops working and you're taking a shower, what do? You freak out here. You freak out to them. Now imagine having a life where every single day that's what your life is. Figuring out where you're going to get clean water, figuring out where you're going to go to the bathroom, figuring out how you're going to shower today. And you were mentioning as well on our last podcast that they don't shower every day either.
Oh, most of these families, the kids and the moms that we hug and we hold while they cry, 2 weeks to a month, probably haven't showered. And, it's really interesting. A lot of people, they ask us because, they know my mom and I, like, general as human beings, obviously, having access to hygiene here, we're clean, but especially my mom and I being like OCD clean. How can you guys do that? Don't you guys get grossed out? It's unbelievable. And I'll always say this, when God calls you to do his work, you forget everything. You forget what it smells like. You forget the hygiene. You forget the odor. You forget everything because, at that moment you're needed and you're there to make a difference, and you have to be that shoulder for these kids and these moms to cry on. You have to be that hand that helps them up because they don't have anyone but you, unfortunately. And that's the reason why the level of neglect and abandonment that these families feel, nobody cares about them. It's like they're shunned out of society.
Yeah.
They're looked at down upon like they're trash. And I don't know what to tell you other than life is incredibly unfair. And this is a question that I've pondered about most of these years, all of these years that, I've started serving on fly missions in Armenia. Is one of the most important thing for every one of us to realize is that this could have happened to any one of us. I mean, an earthquake to that magnitude can happen, God forbid, can happen to any one of us and can rob us of everything that we've ever known. And we could start from rock bottom and never make it back up to where we are. So, it's heartbreaking that thousands upon thousands of families have to live this way because of something that happened so long ago. And hello, mama. Hello, baba.
Some million families arrive.
But it makes you realize, it humbles you in the fact for you to realize that this can happen to any one of us.
Absolutely.
And these kids were not born into a life of poverty. Life happened, something unexpected, a tragic catastrophe happened, and it took everything from them, right? And this is something that we've spoken about other podcasts, and I'll bring it up again. Just like Arno was saying, if our water runs out just for a couple hours, we freak out. And my mom always says, since the very beginning, let's see, he's giving you guys your hats. Thanks, Dad. Hugs, kisses, love you.
The Sanvillian family's here.
It's okay, no worries. Love you guys.
Are we repping your shirt too, or just
Edgar's gonna take his shirt off on camera.
Welcome. We have a nice live audience.
your knees are gonna go up, bro?
There we go.
Thank you guys so much. Love you. So to get back to what I was saying, my mom always says, she can attest to this, is from the very first mission she had in Armenia, there's never a day that she takes a shower under that hot running water that she doesn't think about those kids and those parents, because they don't even know what that's like. We've personally bathed children ourselves in our hotel room showers to get them clean before we take them out, to move them out, to do all these day full of surprises. And if you were to see their reaction of them looking up at that water and smiling and saying, "What is that?" Like, they don't know what that is. They've never seen what that is. And you just see the dirt that comes off of them and the relief that comes to them after they're clean. And it's like you sit and say, damn it, like this is the bare minimum. And this is what I've always said. Give these families a square little box to live in. Let it be tiny. One little space to sleep, a bathroom, dry bread to eat, but let them have somewhere to live, a roof over their head, where they could sleep comfortably and not wake up to rats nibbling on them. All these kids can testify that they've woken up to a rat nibbling on them. And talk about PTSD, the trauma that causes. Our Admine, our leader, our leader of our Armenia chapter in Gyumri, she's petrified from them because she's been one of those kids and she knows what that's like, So talk about inhumane, talk about tragic, talk about unimaginable. I mean, imagine being born into this. You're born into a life of survival. You wake up, if there's food to eat, great, you have something to eat. If there isn't, there isn't. You'll be hungry maybe for 1 to 3 days, You don't have a comfortable sleep because you have to always be on guard to make sure to protect yourself, to protect your mom, because your dad's not around. 98% of the families that we help, dads are gone. So you watch these young boys that are anywhere from 5 to 8. You sit down with them. They talk as if they're 50-year-old men because they have to be the man in the house. There's no dad, right? And think about that. There's this word in Armenian, unkshavadz. It's like I don't know how you say it in English. It's like pressured, anxious, like not free, not comfortable, not at ease. So imagine growing up in this. How are you going to be able to focus on your studies at school? How are you going to be able to succeed and get good grades? How are you going to be able to live healthy with a mind that's healthy, a body that's healthy, a heart and a soul that's healthy? Everything is going to deteriorate, right? And let alone watching your mom suffer, watching her, be at the finish line in her life, and watching her be depressed and suicidal is not going to help you in any way either. So it's a very, very hopeless and helpless situation, unfortunately. And, it's the most difficult thing that I and my mom have ever had to witness. But the most important thing, and I always tell people, because many people say, I don't know how you guys go out there and do that. We can't even watch the footage. I always say, if you don't watch, you won't know. And if you won't know, how can you do something about it, right? So awareness is the first key. And then the next step is finding solutions. What can we do to make sure that these families get back up on their feet again,
Because they can't do it without organizations like yours. It's impossible. Because, for example, that little girl's mom picks potatoes. Okay, she goes when it's sun's up. She comes home when sun sets. She even had a bug bite on one of her fingers, which had a huge infection. Her finger was about at the point of being amputated, but she still had to go to work because she only makes, what was it? Was it, I think, $7 a day?
Oh, Jesus Christ.
$7 or $10 a day. So imagine
if not less.
how
less,
That's a good check for what you're talking about.
They
well,
usually make anywhere from
$10 a day up it.
1,000 to 5,000 dirham max.
So after she feeds her kids, I'm not talking about fish and chips and lobster. I'm talking about
rice,
the bare minimum.
bread,
Yeah,
potatoes.
they don't even have $20 a month left, or 50 or whatever that 10,000 dirham left to even think, okay, I'll save this for 10 years and maybe it'll be a down payment on something. You can't.
Yeah.
There's just no savings,
It's day
no
by day
nothing.
survival.
And a lot of
nothing
people
else.
have debts, right?
Yeah.
Because they borrow from these stores so their kids won't go hungry. So that's actually, one of the things that is one of the things that we don't do is we don't pass out money. And the reason for that is because if you give money, it's not really going to directly impact the child other than covering debts, because a lot of these families have that, because
Yeah.
that's the only way that they can bring food, right? So, to add on to what you said, it is very difficult, even if, let's say, they're hardworking, they're doing whatever they can, 1,000 dirham here, 2,000 dirham here. It's very difficult for them to stand back up on their own, because you need that helping hand to get you up. You need the knowledge, you need the resources, you need the education, you need whatever you're lacking to be able to get you to a place that you haven't been able to get to on your own. This is why this is completely separate from laziness. I always say, well, for someone that's lazy, give them a mansion. They're still not going to know the value of it. Okay. That's why it's the biggest disservice to help someone that's not ready to help themselves. And that's the reason why we emphasize on that so crucially, is because, we are giving this charity our all of our minds, our hearts, our souls, and we want to make sure that it's going to be dedicated to those families who are willing to utilize that to stand up, because that's where the fruit of your labor is seen, right? Where, all the blood, sweat, and tears that's put into this, years down the line, you see these kids have grown up, they're educated, they're working, the moms have their own businesses now, they've moved out of that container. That's when thank God, every drop of what we're putting into this is actually reaching its destination, and it's making a profound difference. At the end of the day, I feel like every human being in the world, let alone our Armenian people, as long as they know in their heart that they know that their hard-earned money is reaching where it needs to reach, I don't think that there's any sane Armenian in the world that's not going to want to help their people, especially after everything that Armenia has been through. As long as they are, they're rest assured that they know that it's reaching where it needs to reach. I think that's what a lot of people have been hurt from, unfortunately, over the years.
I think the challenge with a lot of people is that they don't think, for example, that $50 a month is going to make a difference, because $50 is not a lot of money. But $50 times 12 is $600, and if 1,000 people do that, right, that's $600,000 a year. So it adds up. You don't have to donate 5,000. You don't have to donate 50,000. $50 a month, which is probably far less than what you spend on Starbucks or Coffee Bean or whatever your drink of choice is. That's the thing. You don't have to think on a big scale, just on a very micro scale, if you think about it. And if thousands, 10,000, imagine 100,000 people do that, that's how you fix this problem within 5-10 years. The next generation will not have to live in a domik. But if we continue thinking, well, I can't afford to I can't afford to buy a home for this family, you don't have to buy a home for that family. Donate $1 a day, if that simplifies things, $30 a month, and get other people to do the same. You'll see over time this issue will resolve. But if we don't do that, not one person cannot do it. We don't have an Elon Musk in our community who can write a $2 billion check and fix this overnight. Bring 100,000 people from China and build 80 million units in a matter of a weekend. You can't do that.
No, we have the. Now here's the thing. I want to correct you on that. We have the people that can write those checks, but it's unfortunate that those people don't write those checks. They write them for other things.
Well,
that's the problem. That's one of the main.
We have billionaires, but they're again. I'm not making excuses for them. They can write $100 million check. What I'm saying is, an Elon Musk or Jeff Bezos can fix the whole problem with one.
Absolutely,
stroke of a pen. But our people, maybe 10 of them can, if they come together, can fix the problem.
That's the big issue. It's unfortunate that you have organizations where they go above and beyond whatever they need to do and leave their day jobs, which your family has, businesses to run. They devote their time to something like this. They don't have to do it. They don't. But it's in they want to do it. Why? Because this is something that needs to be done, has to help those families. Like you were mentioning,
it's a calling for this family. This is a calling.
Exactly. You took the words right out of my mouth. It was like a calling from God, basically. You said.
Yeah, and when you get called, there's no saying no. you know, and this isn't something that you just wake up and you said, hey, you know, I'm going to start a charity and this is what I'm going to do. It's not like a push of a button.
Yeah.
It's something that gets built within you through time. And this is why, you know, my mom, when she gives her testimony about, you know, where all this began, it's very deep. You know, it starts from her childhood, you know, and it grew within her. And then, you know, it's like all the puzzle pieces come together and this begins. And then I'm blessed and fortunate enough that she was able to pass this calling of hers to me, where I found my purpose very young in life. And I'm forever grateful to her and grateful to God, because I know this is something that I'll pass to my kids, and God willing, my kids to their kids. And when you're called, it's not like you have even time to think about the decision. That's it. It's like it's a magnetic pull. And especially when you go and you witness it yourself, this is why I'll always say, no matter what happens, no matter how heartbroken Armenians are about Armenia and the situation, how bad it is, and they say, that's it, I'm done with Armenia, I'm not going to help, my heart's shut. I promise you, if you go to that container and you see that child and the misery that they are, you will have, even if you're made of stone, you will not be able to not help that child, because it is not that child's fault that there's corruption going on in Armenia. It is not that child's fault that Armenia and our army and our politics and everything that is not that child's fault. And we cannot punish that child because of what's going on in our homeland, you know? So this is why I get so happy when people like you, Armand, personally make the time to go and visit Gyumri and visit these impoverished families and the containers, for you to be able to witness it yourself and actually give your own testimony. Because, you know, I'm sure you can attest to this yourself, but I'm sure that you had a good idea about it based on our testimonies. But when you went personally in that container yourself, you witnessed it, you heard it, you smelled
you smell it.
Dude, I don't know how you did
you
it.
see it.
I don't know how you did it. I
And-
really don't know how you did it. I can't do. I don't think I could. Do it.
Because I wanted to, as much as I've been impacted by the work they do and everything else I've seen throughout my adult life, it's still not the same, because I've never been inside a domik. I hadn't been back in Armenia in 30 years.
No,
so
I know.
So you have to do it, whether you like it or not. There's two things
Me
out.
seeing it was enough, bro. Me seeing it, I didn't want to witness. I didn't want to see the face. Like, I'm telling you, the video that they showed, I was ready to
we
leave.
need to find that
Get ready
video.
for this year.
People are asking
We-
about it.
yeah,
Do
we-
you have like a
We had a couple comments. Let
link
me
for
get
that
to real
video?
quick.
By the way,
and then-
everybody do this
Mom?
for us. We're gonna share the video.
Yeah.
What we want you guys to do is share the post. Okay.
and
on-
I'll
everybody on
attach it in the comment
Yeah,
section.
we'll put it in
and
the
I'll
comments as
pin it.
well. So
Yeah.
everybody on Facebook, everybody on YouTube, do us a
Gala-
favor.
gala video.
Share the post, and we're gonna find it and we're gonna play it on, because we want to make sure it's the correct video. Because Fly obviously
She's gonna
has
find it.
multiple videos on
Yeah.
their YouTube channel. We want to make sure it's the correct one
Yeah.
before
Yeah.
we stream
Mom,
it.
do me a favor on YouTube, if you can find the Gala 2019 video and just text it to Arnold, so he'll put it in a few.
See,
in a
like,
few moments.
for example, Ninette says her husband Jairo was a kid in
That's crazy. Did
Armenia,
you hear the
and-
story about that?
and he was sick that day, the day of the earthquake, and her mom and dad were forcing him to go to school. And the dad got upset with him and said, "You got to go to school. What is this? You know,
Mhm.
this is not an excuse for you not to go to school." But the grandma convinced them to keep him home, and the school collapsed,
Wow.
and all
Everyone
the
in
kids,
this class.
everybody
Wow.
died except him because he was home.
Wow,
You're kidding me,
miracle.
bro.
That's what she
insane.
just.
It wasn't his time then, you know?
But just living, knowing that, right?
Yeah.
That in itself could be difficult. Just thinking to yourself, bro, when I was 6, I could have been done.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Unfortunately, that's the destiny for thousands of families in Armenia.
Odette was asking, is Fly connected with any of the, that charity on Amazon where when you make a purchase?
Yeah,
Is
of
it?
course. We're
Oh,
on
it
Amazon.
is?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah. You just
wonderful.
have to go to smile.amazon
Okay.
and we're registered there. Yeah. So anyone that picks Fly when they make a purchase on Amazon, a percentage goes to Fly. Yeah. We've been registered for a long time. Thank you so much for asking.
I have this one. I have it's not in any of these, right? Is
No,
it?
My mom is finding
Oh,
it.
she gonna
yeah,
find
yeah,
it?
She'll find
Okay,
it. She'll
send
let
it.
us know. Yeah. Don't even
Minelli
worry.
was asking,
Yes.
are there any architectural schools from Yerevan focusing on having students design and build sustainable homes with passive design strategies so the locals don't have to rely on a grid?
That I don't know actually, because when we go to Armenia, I don't spend any time in Yerevan. I go directly to Gyumri and I'm there for weeks serving on these missions in the Shirak and Lori region. So Gyumri, Vanazor, Spidak. So I don't really know anything about, Yerevan and the schools there or what's really going on with that.
Okay.
Cernaz. I think that's Sergic Nazarian.
Which one?
Please ask Elena if her organization has considered and looked into 3D building printing.
I've heard of that.
I've seen a video of that. Looks interesting. I don't know about the safety aspects of it. I've seen a video of it.
Look, there's a lot of manufactured home these days, very very minimal cost. Even actually speaking of containers, a friend of mine, his name is Vic. He built his office out of those actual containers in
Shipping containers.
Santa Clarita. Yeah, he
shit.
bought the shipping containers for a couple
Stacked them
grand.
up and all that?
You stack it and all that. He built this very modern office for himself out of that. Now, you don't have to, again, do it out of shipping containers. There's a lot of companies out there where they ship it out to you. You just unfold it and it's a house.
One of the examples of that would be U-Box. I mean, Elon Musk is living in one of those.
Yeah.
$50,000.
It's very doable up there, or even to build a 5-story, whatever, 200 unit or a community, 2,000, unit community. It's not that difficult to do. There's the land, there's the quote unquote resources they can bring in, but it's a matter of financing.
Finance.
Somebody
Definitely.
has to finance
All of
it.
this comes down to money at the
So
end of the day.
let me tell you, this is something that we pondered about for a while because, after providing all the humanitarian aid we do to these families, right? So you provide, for all these years that we've been serving Armenia with hundreds and hundreds of families, we've provided, large supplies of clothing, of shoes, of hygiene products, household items, toys, school supplies, medicine, everything that these families need every single day to feel like they're human, right? So you take care of that. That way they feel like a normal human being. They don't have any of their necessities missing, and they don't have to worry about that. They don't even have to save money or worry about the expenses of those things, right? So you get that taken care of. And then what comes next? Next comes focusing on jobs and focusing on making an income, right? Because without doing that, then there is really no way for you to have a bright future, have a career, and actually change your life, right? So after taking care of all of those necessities, we focus on that long-term solution of helping these single mothers find jobs, get certified, get trained. And the way that we do that, we host regular empowerment seminars with these moms. So we gather them multiple times a year in Gyumri, Vanadzor, and Spidak. And we have a psychologist lead along with our team. And we sit these women down one by one. First off, main focus is mental health, for them each to talk about their traumatic past, their life story, what they've been through, and for them to have the
Now,
opportunity.
is this done in a group setting
This is
or
done in
on
a group
an
setting.
individual
Group setting, yeah.
So it's sort of like a
Like a table, and there's a nice group of these single moms sitting
Great.
there
Okay.
with our team and the psychologist leading, and we help them put their traumatic past behind. So sadly, whoever doesn't know, a lot of women in Armenia face domestic violence, right? Not just domestic violence, but husbands that have abandoned them and their kids. So they are forced to deal with this heavy load of poverty and being a single mom and taking care of all their kids' needs on their own. So the first step of these seminars is to help them put their traumatic past behind. And second, to empower them to, yeah, you got it. That's the one. Yeah, it's the gala video.
Okay, it's 47
Wait,
minutes.
Yeah.
Did we watch that for 47
We
minutes?
watched it for 47 minutes. It passed by like a blink, right?
That's what I said.
There's no way it
which,
was 47. Oh
which
my
couple minute
God,
clip
bro.
do you
I don't know,
you
man.
want?
Do you want poverty?
I don't
Is
know
that what
which
you
one
want?
he's referring
Because
to exactly.
beginning is
I
gonna
didn't
be
even
poverty.
realize it was 47
Listen,
minutes, man.
beginning
I
is gonna
sat
be
there for
poverty.
47 minutes and
Yes,
watched
you
that.
did.
Are you kidding
If
me?
you guys play the beginning part, it'll be a lot of poverty.
Oh, jeez.
So what I was saying, you guys, so after we help them put their past behind, we ask each and every mother of what do you dream about becoming? What do you dream to do? What have you always wanted to do, but life never gave you the chance to? So we sit down and find out what each of these mothers are passionate about. Some is to be a cosmetologist, some it's to be a hairdresser, some it's to do this, do that. Everyone is passionate about something, but life never gave them the chance to do those things, because obviously if you're born into a life of survival and you hardly have a piece of bread to eat,
That's the last thing.
that's
on
the
your
last
mind.
thing on your mind, right? So after learning about what they're passionate about, after the seminars are done, we put each of these moms into their own job training courses to get each one of them trained and for them to learn all the aspects that ties into that specific career. And it's like a few month course. After they finish that, we get them certified. We buy them
Now
the
these courses are done through Fly.
through Fly. Yeah, we sponsor all of
with
it.
other organizations, I'm guessing, with
No.
the schooling and all that.
Oh, as far as like the courses, well, the professionals, but not other schools or organizations.
Okay.
Like with the professionals that lead these courses, yes, but no
Sounds-
other organizations are a part of it. And they complete their training courses, and then we get them certified, and we provide all the tools they need to begin working. Right.
Do we have success stories from
Lot
any
of
families
success
at
stories.
the time?
Lot of success stories about that.
Right.
Yeah, because I could give one example that I personally, one of the many that I witnessed, but the most recent one was our winter mission in January. Long story short, another family that lives in poverty, one of the very few families that a dad is present. And if we adopt a family that a dad is present, he's usually disabled, okay? Because if there's a willing and able man that can work, then you need to work. You know what I
Definitely,
mean?
yeah.
So his name is Haik, one of the most amazing men that I've met in Armenia. Disabled, he became ill, and he had to have one of his legs amputated, okay? And as a result, obviously that caused him huge difficulties, we can imagine, to find work, right? Who's going to hire him, right?
Definitely.
Especially in the field that he was working in. So family, I'm not going to say they were well off. They were living okay, normal. At least, he was able to feed his kids and live okay. But when that illness hit and when he lost his leg, lost all opportunity to work, so just went in a dark ditch, right?
Worst
And-
place any man can be. in.
Exactly. And there's no worse feeling, I think, for any parent to not be able to provide, and to the worst possible thing I think that's possible is to see your kids go to sleep hungry and not be able to feed them, right? So we walk into this man's house, and I'll never forget it. We walked in, it's freezing, right? It's winter time. This is in Vanadzor. We walk in. There was so much smoke inside that house because whoever doesn't know, winters are brutal in Armenia, and these families cannot afford burning firewood. So they burn clothes,
Everything.
plastic bottles, trash, shoes, anything they
Tires.
can get their hands on. And you can imagine the toxic odor and air that fills that room, and the children and the parents have to breathe in. So we're there. No joke, you guys, we couldn't breathe. We said, can you please turn it off? It's okay. We'd rather be cold, but we need to be able to breathe. We can't cough every second and be able to talk to you, right? So they turned that off. And, you open their fridge, nothing in there, just unbelievable poverty. But this is why I always say you see a difference, even when it comes to families that live in poverty. You notice a difference between people in terms of people that just want to ask, and people that don't want to ask for anything at all, people that have that dignity, right? We asked him, we said, Haikjan, how can we help you? What can we bring you? He said, I don't need anything. His daughter was also ill genetically by the same thing that he has, except in her brain. So she's even more at a risk. I forgot what the name of the illness is. All he asked for, he said, I am finding difficulty transporting my daughter every week to the hospital in Yerevan because we're in Vanadzor. If there's any way that you can help me with her transportation, that's all I asked for. He didn't ask for anything else from us but that, even though he needed everything, right? So you see, you meet all kinds of people, and you automatically know that it's families like him that need it all, but, don't want to ask for anything, that are willing to utilize your aid to stand up. So, to move forward from that, we asked him, do you and your wife dream of doing anything, any kind of career? He said, we've always dreamt about having our own sewing business. We wanted to sew our own bags and be able to sell them to markets, like eco-friendly bags, right? How come you haven't done it? We've never been able to afford buying a sewing machine, blah, blah, blah. So guess what we did? We came back for a surprise delivery, gave them everything that they needed, all their necessities, and we surprised them with a sewing machine. You guys, we have pictures and videos, and you'll see it in our gala video. They broke down completely, as if you're giving them a Ferrari. I mean, Chad, what are we giving them? A sewing
That's
machine
better
and
than
fabrics.
a Ferrari
Exactly.
for them. That's bread and butter right there.
And since that day, they promised us, husband and wife, that they're going to work to the best of their ability to be able to help themselves and stand up. And you'll see their videos on our page. They're sewing beautiful eco-friendly bags. They're selling it to the markets nearby. And they're working every day now and they're making an income. This is what Fly is about.
Supporting their own family.
Supporting their own family. We don't want to be around forever in these families' lives because there's thousands more that we need to help, right? So our main mission is to be around as long as we need to be until we get you up. As long as we see you're even moving a half step forward, we'll stay there until you're ready to fly on your own. That is the main purpose, the main meaning of Fly, right? And you know, I have a lot of exciting news to share with everyone watching and with you guys. There's a lot of detail when it comes to Fly's work. I could sit here all night and talk about it.
Well, before you get to that,
Yes.
do you want to play a snippet of that clip?
Sure.
Yes.
So everybody who's basically watching with us right now, go ahead and share the video. We're gonna
I put it in the comments and I pinned it.
yeah.
So you
So
guys
this
can
is
share
we're
it.
gonna play a very. We're not gonna do the entire 47 minutes. We're gonna do maybe, I don't know.
We'll do a few minutes.
We'll do a
yeah.
few minets of it. We'll see how it goes.
Get a
and then-
box of Kleenex.
Yeah, because it's a little tough to watch. So, go ahead. You wanna?
Thousand times, but it gets me every time.
This part is silent, guys. Don't worry about
Yeah,
the
no worries
audio.
about it.
We're not having technical difficulties.
No technical difficulties.
So Arno wrote no audio.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, you don't even need audio for this.
As you're watching this, imagine
Those are the
for those of
bathrooms.
you who have kids, you and your family are living here.
Mhm.
Just picture that for a moment.
How old are these kids?
7 years old, bro.
I mean, I've met kids anywhere from newborns to 5, 6, 7, 8. They're very young. Very young. You know, this is the only life they've ever known, right? I mean, even something as simple as, I mean, what do our
That's
kids...
all black mold, by the way.
Yeah.
You guys are looking at. That's black mold.
Yeah. And I'm sure that Armand can attest to this. When you go in, the smell in there, it's a combination of humidity, of I don't even know, urine, of just I don't even know how to describe what it smells like in there, but it's very difficult to breathe that in, especially in the wintertime when, you know, they're breathing in all that toxic smoke from their burners. You know, and clothing, talk about clothes. I mean, these kids don't know what new clothing, no new shoes are. Everything's been passed down to them. All their clothing and shoes are, you know, old and worn out and are too small.
Մյուր լավ, մյուր վատ։ Պայման չկա, տակուսարջուր չկա, ֆինանս չկա, որ կարողանաս քոնե սարքես երեխեքիդ նորմալ լողացնես մաքրես։ Աշխատում եմ փռին հավաքարար, օրվա հաց եմ բերեմ, օրը երեխեքս ուտում են։ Լոկարան չկա, տաշտով ջուրը դնում ենք այդտեղ լողացնում պեշքի կողքը։ Կուխնին նորմալ պոլ չկա կռիսների մեջը։ Մութը տվես կռիսները տաներեսը մեզանի շատ են մանգալի։ Փետը ձեռս երեխեքին պաշտպանում են, որ չկծեն։ Կռիսներ։ Մամաս ինձ դորի ինձ ասում էր, որ ես փող կարող եմ քումբարը խոզած եզանքին վրա կառնեմ է։ Դες չէ։ Միշտ ես ասել եմ, որ լավ դպրոցը թամ դավարել կանելու։ Լավ բան։
Ասով գերտաստասի։ Ուրիշ չունես։
Ես է տվել եմ։
Ասալ դվել են քեզ։
Հակիսրում եմ։
Իսկ ասիգա ծուրդին չեն բաղիր տոտիկները։
Դե դիմացել եմ։
Դիմացել ես։ Եղբայրները դու ինչպես տակուկ կբահես։
Դու են կոմերը լիքը պետք է էլի։ Տենց չախա, մախա, տենց բեմ միջև դրանք ինչ ալու։ Տենց։
Գերտաստուրսեն գահավաքես
Հա, եղել է ժամանակ, որ մամաս իման դա եղե։ Ես դավիթի այդ վաղտ բուջուրես, ամուղիկը չեր ծնվե, այդ վաղտ մամաս չեր կամ խոսար, վաղտ ես իրան պան խնամում էր։
I mean, you guys could just
We'll share the link, right?
yeah, we'll share the link. You guys can basically go in there and watch all 45 minutes of it. But another thing you guys could basically do is you guys could attend the gala this year.
Yeah.
And by attending the gala, proceeds are actually going to Armenia. It's going to fly, and you know that what the Samvelian family is doing is genuine, and they're actually going out there and they're helping these families out.
As the wise nuts, you guys got to understand, we do not support just any random organization.
And when
We
Edgar
just
gets
don't do
choked
that.
up, you know it's legit.
We just don't support just any organization. We must believe in the organization, and this is the family that we all believe in and we trust wholeheartedly.
Thank you so
Like-
much, you guys. Thank you.
Imagine that boy saying, when your mom asked, ոնց ես կոշիկներով դվրոց գնում, ասում է դիմանում եմ։
That's a man. That's not a boy anymore. Very young, but that's a man. Unfortunately.
Unfortunately, because when you don't have another choice, there's this quote, right, that you never know how strong you are until being strong is the only choice you have. And that's what these kids, that's the destiny that they
But,
face.
Like 6, 7-year-old is not supposed to say dimonument. That's like
That's something a man says when he goes to work and it's not going well. And he goes, "Oh, dimanumem,"
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
or I don't know. I don't.
The strength, the intellect, the intelligence, the wisdom that you guys will see in these kids, it's mind-boggling. This is why I say you sit with these kids, and this angel is one of those kids that you sit with him and you feel like you're sitting with a grown man, because you know that's the life that he's born into, and he's no other life but that, you know. And then you compare it to kids here. And, you know, God bless all our kids all around the world, you know. But I think it's vitally important for every person, let alone every Armenian and every Armenian kid, to visit their homeland and personally witness with their own eyes these severe, impoverished situations, and hear with their own ears what these kids are saying, so they realize how truly blessed they are, and to realize that many in the world and in their homeland are not nearly as blessed, right? That's why, you know, you see that difference, you guys. Again, Աստված ամեն մարդուն երեխաները բահե, but you know, coming back from there, seeing you know these kids and how they're appreciative for a simple little ball you get them that's worth $1 in Armenia, but their parents have never been able to get them one that's like a Ferrari for them. You see that appreciation. You see a world that you don't see here, and you realize, wow, really, people that have had it hard, they truly know the meaning of gratitude. They really do.
Yeah.
You know.
Arno was saying he has a question. He goes, "How come these families don't get government assistance?"
These families actually, most of them do get government assistance. So there's something in Armenia called Toshak and Nupast, right? One is it's welfare. So there's one that's for the elderly, and
There's something Napast, and then there's another one.
it's Nupast and Toshak. They're two different.
Toshak is for elderly.
Elderly, and then Nupast is like for like people that live like under like a
but that amount
poverty
is,
line.
the problem is that they give you a certain amount, and if you work, they lower that amount.
Mm-hmm.
So you're almost in this, predicament. Do I work? If I work, I don't know the parameters, so I don't want to say any numbers. But for example, let's say if you're getting $100 a month of government assistance.
I don't think they
And
do
if
that.
you work, for example, if you make $200 a month or more, they're going to cut that down to 50. So people would rather
take that money,
take
instead
that
of-
money, because the difference between 100 and 200 is not a lot for them to go out there and work. And that's part of the reason why people stay in the same place they are, because they have no motive to work, because the amount they get paid is so little that whatever the government pays, they'd rather find a way to survive bare minimum off of that than to work 60 hours a week and make only 30% more.
This is why I say government assistance is a blessing and a curse at the same time, because, you know, thank God for whatever they're giving to our people. It's like, if you were to even imagine, what if they didn't even have that, right? But then again, exactly what Armon said is, when it comes to actually taking charge of your life and building a bright future and working hard, you know, the last thing that we want to hear is for families to say, like, I don't need to work because the government is already feeding me. Hankis nistem. See, that's exactly the category of family that we do not adopt. We do not. Because, you know, if you want to spend the rest of your life in these four rotten walls and depend on the $30, $40, $50 that comes to, great, hats off to you. That's the way you want to live your life that way. We're not there to help those families. We're here that for families that are ready to give that up and to no longer depend on the government or to depend on anyone for anything other than themselves and their inner strength. That's what we're there for, you know?
Kobe, if you want us to address your comment, please reveal your real name. We know you're not Kobe. This is not AOL chat room. Reveal your name so we can address you properly, and we'll address your capitalism comment
very soon.
And you can, if you want to elaborate a little bit, because you said capitalism is the cause for all of this poverty. Elaborate on that, how and why you came to that conclusion, and we'd be more than happy to address it. And our friend John, the communist, is also thinks
Being a very good communist at this time.
a communist that went to law school but didn't learn much in school.
As long as he's being a respectful communist, we accept him.
Yeah, the free market is killing Armenia. Of course, the free market has built the largest economy in the world, where we live, we happen to live in, the most prosperous country ever known to man, ever to exist on Earth.
The country that everybody would love to escape and live in.
How many? 2.1 million try to escape just last year, or was it year to date?
2.3 million, basically.
Is that
I'm
year
saying.
to date or
Year
last
to
year?
date.
Year to date.
Year to date. Here's the thing. I mean,
It's
you look at it.
because capitalism is bad.
Of course
Yeah,
it
yeah.
is. Could you imagine if it was based off of more of a? I think it was with Artin we talked about it. It was based off of a socialistic type of government. Okay, you're like, all right, so it's going to work off a socialistic type of government. So who are you going to tax? You're going to tax these people that are living in domics, the people that aren't working. Who are you going to tax? And I guarantee you this much: that money that's going to the government to create an equality throughout everybody, what do you think is going to happen there?
Yeah.
Oh, look, more money's coming in. I mean, come on, guys. Think about it. You're talking about a third world country.
It's not even third. I think it's probably fourth or. I mean,
Well, by third
when
world,
you
it means after the Industrial Revolution. That's we were we were third in line, basically.
Yeah.
That's basically what it means. But again, you can't basically think, oh, Armenia going communist or socialist is going to fix the problem. Who are, like I said, who are you going to tax? Who are you going to give those high tax rates to, in order to run the railroad, in order to run, I don't know, mail, the government, anything government owned? Who are you going to tax?
I want to know who Kobe is now.
Yeah, you leave Yerevan. Armenia is not Yerevan.
Not nearly.
Yerevan is a little hub in Armenia where all the tourists go. Everybody goes to Armenia. Oh my God, Yerevan! It's so nice. It's so European.
Mhm.
Leave Yerevan.
Whole other world.
It's an entirely different world.
To add on to that, Arno, it's something funny though. It makes me laugh. So, let's say for people that don't really know much about Fly or don't really know why I go to Armenia, right? Let's say before a charity mission, if I tell someone I'm going to Armenia, they'll be like, "Oh, have fun." I'll be like, "I'm not going for fun. Like I'm going for anything but fun."
See,
You know?
Kobe's like, Armenia's golden age was USSR. It wasn't USSR. Do you
Get
know
a
why it
fucking
wasn't
line.
USSR?
Did you live there?
Of course he didn't. He wouldn't be standing in line at the bread lines.
How old are you, Kobe?
Give me a
Please
break,
disclose your
bro.
real name. Calling you Kobe, I feel
It's
like a
retarded.
socialist right now.
Yeah, go to USSR when basically.
Wait,
Boy-
that person has that chance. Move to China. Move to North Korea right now. You can move to North Korea.
You mentioned it as
Go.
well. My brothers mentioned it as well. Where they would go and they would wait in line for bread.
I've stood in line for those breads.
and
bro. What
you
you
stood in
talking
line
about?
as well.
Talon, he schmeckt Talon.
Yeah, and
Oh,
they
no, no,
and they
yeah.
would give you
Yeah,
they would
he
give you
doesn't
a,
know that.
they would give you a voucher.
Yes.
Yeah.
A voucher, and you know what? You got once it was your turn. If you were a 7-year-old kid without voucher, and you got to the front of the line, and you were next, and they were out of bread, guess what? You were going home without bread.
Yes.
So
Yes.
if you're gonna give me that USSR bullshit about we lived better during the Bolshevik era, give me a
You know why you lived? You know why they lived better?
They're content with
If
just
you're
eating
if
what
you're
they're given.
if you're a lazy socialist, then of course you're gonna
there was
advocate for
there was
that.
a reason why there was that massive migration during the Bolshevik era. As soon as the United States opened up its borders, everybody and anybody left.
Well,
Thank you, Ronald Reagan.
where do you live, young man or young woman? I don't even know. So
He's
We
like,
never
go
know
ask
nowadays.
anybody.
You can't even ask nowadays. You can't even ask.
Go ask anybody over 50. Okay,
What pronouns can we call you by?
seriously,
It-
man.
Oh my god.
Jesus.
By anyone over 50. I could bring on a
Bro,
bunch of people over
I-
50 that'll disagree with you. I don't think you know anything you're talking about.
I remember one time I was sitting at my dad's barber shop and this man was complaining, and I was probably in my 20s, complaining about I'm sitting there listening like, what the hell are you talking about, bro? I said, hi, and I said, excuse me, you don't like living in the U.S.? He goes, no. I said, there's a travel agent right on the second floor here. I don't mind buying you a one-way ticket right now if you want to go. The աղբեր որ հիմա չէ որ լավանա վիճակը Հայաստանի հետ գետանք. I'm like, you were just bitching about living in the U.S., but now you're waiting for what? For Armenia to prosper and become what U.S. is, and then you're gonna move to Armenia. That's what you're waiting for. You don't want to go upstairs. It's like these naggers and that complain about capitalism, this and the system here is flawed. It's all
look. The
corporate greed.
Ivy League assistant professor was born in 1962. I'll guarantee you this much, man. I'll buy you a one-way ticket to Armenia. I'll pay for 1 year of expense there, but you can't come back in 10 years. I'll guarantee you won't do it.
You still haven't disclosed your name,
Jesus,
I
Professor.
just asked. He said, no thanks, Edgar. Well, you're welcome.
You still haven't
See,
disclosed
you
your
can
name.
see my face. You know my name. Yeah, you're hiding behind your damn screen.
Yeah. If anything,
Sorry. Professor or not, you can kiss my ass.
Yeah, everything you've basically said, we're gonna take it with a grain of salt.
Don't
'cause
mess
you're
with the
basically-
wise nuts, honey. Don't.
Yeah, and if you think you can bash capitalism, send us your picture and your name, and we'll invite you on the show. You can come educate us, Professor.
Yeah,
so
we love getting
graduated from-
educated.
No, assistant professor.
Sorry, assistant. He,
At an Ivy League.
if he has a PhD, we should call him Doctor Professor,
yeah.
Assistant.
Assistant Doctor Professor. Moving on, guys.
And
Yes,
here
let's
you are
see.
watching one educated and two not
See,
educated.
John is all of a sudden protecting the indoctrinated. It's cute how sheep just follow the other sheep like, oh, where's the other one? Oh, he's an Ivy League guy, so am I. I'm gonna just agree with him without thinking.
Wait, John is Ivy League as well?
No, John went to online school.
John,
Glendale
didn't
Law Academy.
John go to school in Ohio or something like that?
Ninette is asking if they can volunteer for Fly, and somebody earlier was asking if when they visit Armenia, are they able to volunteer for Fly?
Sure, yeah. So thank you for asking that question. So our team doors are always open for anyone that wants to volunteer and potentially even become a member in our team here in the Los Angeles chapter. Everyone's always welcome. You could just contact us and, we can meet and, I could tell you more in depth about Fly if you have any other questions. And you can always sit in on a meeting and volunteer and potentially even become a member of our LA chapter, our LA team here. And as far as anyone that comes to Armenia, definitely we've had people that have flown to Armenia while we've been there or we haven't been there, and like similar to what you did, and they'll reach out to us wanting to volunteer, and we'll connect them with our team if we're not there. And they definitely can volunteer, or if there's like any specific, we've had volunteers in the past that have had specific families in mind that they want to help, whether it's clothing, shoes, food, or they personally want to give a monetary donation. We've connected them to our team there, and our team takes them to that family, and they have that avenue to help. Yeah, so definitely.
That's the best way. If you want to meet the family, I wish I had more time to go meet some of the other families where we've been, able to help over the years. But unfortunately, I didn't even get to see some of my own family.
It's okay. It's okay.
Time flies.
First of many, I'm sure.
Yeah,
First of many.
Yeah, hopefully.
Well, man, I would love to know who you are. Damn sure.
No, there's no need. Let him go.
Man, if I'm 60 and idolizing an athlete, fuck, I got something wrong with my life. If you're born in 1962, you're 60-year-old, man or woman. If Kobe's your idol at this point, you got a problem, bro. 60 years old.
It's past your bedtime. Go grab your lotion. Go to bed.
Palmolive works well.
I love it when John makes comments about my hats. He still hasn't figured out why I wear a hat. He thinks you're only supposed to wear a hat when it's sunny outside. Yet he dances to rappers who wear sunglasses indoors.
Stop it.
Oh my God.
But John is at least we know we can.
Yeah.
John is a person we personally know. Like we've seen the guy.
He's certified.
He's
this
certified.
Point. Yeah, he's a certified.
Yeah. Well, Kobe's saying it's just a username. So
Yeah.
listen,
Sure.
get off your kid's YouTube account.
He's like my surface level education. I never claimed to be educated. I don't know why you think it's not even surface level. It's
You're
like
a wise nut, though.
Have we ever claimed to be educated around here?
that's
Go read our
guys
go
are
read our
wise.
go read our
Seriously.
disclaimer before you come in and make stupid comments.
Okay, moving on.
yes,
Yeah.
yes,
Let's
Sorry,
forget.
we
this.
tend to
It's
digress.
okay. It's okay. Don't
Because
worry.
we're uneducated.
Put your lotion
guys
away,
are
John.
amazing.
Put the lotion away, buddy.
Okay, so
Okay, so when is the gala this year?
to share exciting news with everyone, our next annual gala is on the first Sunday of November 6th.
November
2022.
6th.
And it's going to be at Palladio Banquet Hall in Glendale at 5 p.m. So for whoever doesn't know, this is the biggest fundraising event that we have every year. We have it once a year, our annual gala event. And basically what it is, to sum it up for you, it's like a formal dinner reception where, we expect anywhere from 300 to 400 people. And it's an elegant dinner. We have nice celebrity entertainment. You'll watch a beautiful presentation, documentary, just like Arno mentioned, that will really move, touch, and inspire you. Will definitely be a tearjerker, but will really make you happy to witness as well, to witness the incredible differences that Fly has made the past 10 years. Will give you great insight on the kind of work that Fly has done, and will give you the chance to contribute as well. Now, why this year is so special is because we're celebrating our 10th year anniversary, and that I am just in awe and in shock and mind boggled to say, because it's like it just went by like a blink of an eye. It was just yesterday that my mom and I, got the first footage in of helping a small group of kids in Syria. Little did we know 10 years later was going to pass, and this was going to be a huge, 501c3 that helped more than 15,000 kids till now by God's grace, of course. And another reason why this year is so special is that, forever noticed on the flyer, is all of the proceeds from this year's gala is going to be completely donated to building our own Fly Center in Gyumri, Armenia, you guys. So this is a dream come true for us, something that we've worked so hard for that we are just at a loss of words, and we're so grateful that the day has finally come. And this is going to tie everything that we've been talking about, where, we spoke about how we provide humanitarian aid, right? To get these families back up on their feet and feel human, to prepare them to work. And then we make them attend empowerment seminars, find out what they're passionate about, what they want to do. And then we put them in job trainings, certification, and we connect them to jobs in the city, and they start working and making an income, right? So we realized, so all this work that we've been doing the past 7 years, we're actually going to continue doing in this center, except it's going to be under our roof, right? This is going to be a huge 3-story building, like a school, basically, like 18,000 square feet. And it's basically going to be an after-school program for all these kids that we've been helping, and the many more that we have yet to help to come after school. First of all, to eat a warm meal, to have the chance to bathe. We're going to have bathing facilities here, so that's no longer a problem for them. And there's going to be plenty of extracurricular activities that they can take part in, whether it's dance, sports, music, art, because these kids are so talented, but never had the chance to explore those talents. And on top of that, each child is going to receive the necessary tutoring that they need to ensure that they succeed in school, continue to a college, get their degree, and end up getting good jobs. Because we realized over the years, you guys, every single time we go to Armenia, there's always new things to learn. And we realized that, feed and clothe as much as you want, but until you get to the point that you get our kids and their moms educated and working, their lives are not going to change for the long term, right? Of course, needless to say, you have to take care of their necessities first. No one can work if they're hungry or if they're dirty or if they don't have clothes, right? You have to take care of that, which thank God we have been. And then we've been concentrating on the job training, the education, and working. But now that we're finally going to have our center, all that's going to be done under one roof. The main purpose of this, for whoever doesn't know, obviously the education system in Armenia, at least in Gyumri, isn't all that great. And needless to say, as we mentioned, these kids that, suffering in poverty, succeeding in school and getting degrees and going off to college is the last thing that they're thinking about, right? So what ends up happening, they end up dropping out, working anything they can on the streets, $1 here, $2 here to help their mom. Same cycle continues. And that is exactly what this center is here to do, to cut that cycle of poverty from its roots, to make sure we don't continue. Because you visit these containers, you guys, the grandma, her child, and her grandchild is still suffering in that metal container. And we don't want that to continue anymore to the 4th, 5th, 6th generation. Okay.
And I can attest to that location. Were you going to say something?
No. I was going to say something. If I said something, it was going to end up bad.
No, let's not do that.
So, yeah, while I was in Gyumri, I also visited the
land of the center?
The land where the center is going to be built. I went there with Armine. And it's honestly such a tranquil piece of land. It's like when she opened the gates and I walked in, obviously, there's going to be a lot of construction. You guys are going to just completely take it to a whole different level. But the energy that I felt on that piece of land, it was so quiet. You can hear the birds chirping. You guys even have a little Avchuk dog there, right?
Dog. He's our center dog.
What was it, like a white golden retriever?
Something like that. Yeah,
right?
He just showed up on the center land, and we kept him. Yeah.
I had I picked a few apples from the apple tree there too. But honestly, the land itself, it just felt very the energy.
You had a positive energy resonated back with you, basically.
Yeah, because it wasn't.
That's very important, man.
There was no traffic there. It wasn't like on a main street. It just felt right.
You know what it is? It sounds cliche, but as far as like with energy and all that stuff, when you feel it, you feel it. Yeah, again, like I said, it sounds cliche, but the fact that you walked there and you kind of felt that aura, I think it's heading in the right direction.
And I'm so glad, Armand, that you had the chance to visit the land where our center is going to be built. Thank you so much for making the time to join with our team there and do that. And, the special part is, I'm sure you noticed that you said it's, off the main streets. So the street that it's on, there's actually a lot of containers on that street. A lot of our families that we've helped live on that street. Wow, so it's going to be very close, easy access to them. And another important department of this center to mention, you guys, other than the kids, is going to be for these single moms, right? To continue what we've been doing with them the past 7 years, continue doing that in this center. So to offer all the courses they need to be able to get certified and get jobs. So whatever basically we've been doing the past 7 years, we're going to continue to do under this roof and take it to a next level, is have all these tutoring courses for these kids to make sure that they get through school, get through college with good grades successfully, and make sure that these kids build bright futures and careers as well. And, it's interesting. When we started Fly, mothers and adults and families were never really part of the mission. The children were our main focus. But what we realized in Armenia after helping so many families is the mother is the backbone of that family, right? With an absentee father. So if we do not help the mother, how is she going to be able to set that example for her children, right?
course, yeah.
Unfortunately, you hear a lot of moms there that say, you know, I'm waiting for my son to grow up and be able to take care of me. And one huge mission that we have there, other than all the material things we provide, other than, you know, everything that we're doing, is we're changing the entire psychology of these people, right? To be able to not put that pressure on your child of you're waiting for your child to grow up and take care of your child. Let your child be a child, woman. He is not there to take care of you. So that's what a big part of our mission there to do, is to change this, you know, wired mentality of dependence on others, on their children, on the government, and to teach them dignity, to teach them self-reliance, independence, and focusing on their own strengths to make changes in their life. And that is the biggest success of all, when you're able to teach people that don't have that mentality at all. That's where the biggest challenge, and that's where the biggest success is, for you to be able to teach that to them, you know?
Have you guys ever seen? I don't want to compare, you know, the kids in Gyumri to an animal, but have you guys ever seen those memes or videos where, for example, an animal has been tied to a pole for years, and then they remove that tie, the rope, the rein, whatever you want to call it, and the animal still stands there because it's been programmed that that animal cannot leave more than 5 feet from that pole or wherever it's tied to. And these kids have that, like you said, the mentality is, okay, I'm going to grow up in this domik, then I'm going to get married, and maybe I can afford a worse domik for myself. So I could possibly move out of my parents' home because I have 4 other siblings that are still going to be living here. So there's absolutely just that the restraint you have mentally, that you can't grow. There's nowhere to go. There's no progress whatsoever. So it just breaks you down. You're pretty much disabled at that point.
Exactly.
Right? And to be able to break those chains, which is what the Fly Center is going to do, is remarkable. That's why I'm truly excited about it, is because of the fact that it's going to break those chains off of these people. And of course, it's going to take time. It's not going to happen overnight. But look, it's been 30 plus years already. Nothing's changed. So
It has changed very slowly.
yeah,
Except the containers are still there.
you know. So
those were temporary containers.
right,
They were brought in as
like for a
temporary
couple
housing.
years, like just 6
No,
months,
they all had a
12 months.
10-year life. So when those were put in place, they all had a 10-year lifespan, but we've triple used them since.
Yeah.
My aunt was fortunate enough to actually be able to acquire one of the homes built by Australia back in the it was like in the late 90s. They built those out, and they look like the homes you would see here. Have the sidewalks, backyards, and all that stuff. But some people just weren't fortunate enough to pick any of those up.
Yeah,
You know, the beauty of this center as well, when someone asked about volunteering, God willing, when this is built the next couple of years, it's going to be the landmark where anyone from all over the world can come and volunteer, right? Anyone, you know, in any way that they want to come and help these kids, teach them something. Because the beauty about this center, other than, you know, being the avenue to change lives for generations to come, to create bright futures and change destinies forever, is that it's going to create jobs for a lot of people there, right? So because we need teachers, we need therapists, we need, you know, all kinds of people to work there to be able to educate our kids. So it's like a win-win situation. You're creating jobs, and at the same time, you're getting these kids and these moms educated to be able to change their life. And it's also a hub where people from all over the world can come meet these kids and do their own part to volunteer and help them as well.
What's the project start and end date? What are you guys What do you guys have anything planned as far as start and end?
So pretty much, as Armand mentioned, the land has already been purchased. We purchased that in 2020, and all that's left is for us to build. When you went, Armand, you noticed that there are some things that are already there. Some parts of it used to be a kindergarten, basically, and
It's an existing building.
it's an existing building, but most of it we're going to what's the word for it? Demolish. Thank you, Mom.
Yeah.
Demolish, and some parts we're just going to renovate. Okay, so all of the plans, the architectural plans, all that is done and ready, has been approved, and we're ready to begin demolishing and building. So,
and the part you are not going to demolish was actually, it's nice high ceiling concrete.
yeah,
Well, not concrete. What do you call the blocks?
Cinder blocks?
Tuf car.
Doof, ha, yeah.
Cinder blocks.
Yeah, and it's beautiful, high ceiling. The flow of energy.
What was it
very
used for before?
Kindergarten.
kindergarten?
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The,
Yeah.
I mean,
The rest of it, has
the
to
beauty
go.
of all this is you have to look at another small portion that goes into all this is you guys aren't only creating something for the kids there, the moms there, the families there, but you guys are creating jobs for construction workers
Mhm.
currently.
Mhm.
So this is not only something that's for the future, it's creating
Employment on the
it's
spot.
it's employment literally on the spot.
Mhm.
It's a win-win situation for everybody in Gyumri.
Yes. And to answer your
Absolutely.
question, Arno, about the start and end date. So, as mentioned, all the proceeds from this year's gala is going to be dedicated to building the center. I mean, we wish that obviously we can collect all that from one gala, but practically speaking, we're probably going to need a couple at least to get the whole thing built. But we have somewhere to start, right? So,
And you should talk about the different rooms that need sponsors.
sure, I definitely
So
will.
we do have a few listeners that might be willing to
Of
sponsor a
course.
whole room at this time. so-
Definitely. I will disclose all that to everyone listening. Thank you so much. So the whole project, we're anticipating at least 2 years, Arno, for it to be built. It's an 18,000 square foot building. It's going to cost at least 1.5 to build from
Ground up.
basically.
Dirham.
Yes. No, we wish that. You're cute.
Could you imagine?
Oh my goodness.
Oh man.
Can I borrow the folder real quick,
Sure.
Hun, to be able to show everyone? So
Without shutting
as-
down the internet. right?
Or putting water right in front of the computer.
Bro, it's not my computer, is it?
As Edgar mentioned, this center is going to have many rooms, around 26 to 27 rooms, that are open for anyone to sponsor. And anyone that sponsors these rooms, the most beautiful and sentimental part of this is that your name will be on it forever, right? And we've had people that want to put their name or their family's name on it or dedicate it in memory of someone. And one of the people is Armon, sitting here with us.
I am
Yes.
not the professor.
No, you. Professor ain't got nothing on you.
Because I was gonna challenge the professor to
Let's do it. Let's
To-
challenge
Yes,
the
Professor.
professor.
to match my donation. I was gonna challenge.
Put your money where your mouth is.
yeah, I mean,
Armand, what kind of education do you have again, Armand?
see, Capitalist has given me the opportunity.
Kobe left already. He's
I
gone.
know. He said, "I can't believe you guys are the number one Armenian American."
Well, believe it, honey. They earned it.
Wow. Let me
But
see you do it for 5 years. We'll figure
Maybe,
it out.
if you're watching or if you're gonna watch later, I truly do challenge you to, match my donation because you are half. Fine, do half. You are a professor, Ivy League, assistant professor, Ivy League graduate. I'm a college dropout, but I believe in capitalism. So, capitalism has given me the wide privilege that I have to be able to make such donations. And I challenge you as a man to man, for you to do half of what. I'm not saying this. It's not an ego.
Stop with the sexist
Believe me.
thing, bro.
Yeah, bro. He probably
Mano
identifies,
y
he
mano,
probably identifies
yeah.
as something else.
Well, okay, fine.
As a peacock. I don't know.
Pikachu, whatever. No, honestly, and I'm not saying this because I'm not, I don't, it's not to stroke my ego. It's about when people make such comments, put your money, put your checkbook where your mouth is. Stop, being a wise ass on the comment section. That's very easy to do, with a fake name and a chat room name. That's just
You're wasting your breath. Stop.
Yeah,
You're wasting your breath.
You're
maybe
giving
his,
them what
maybe
what they
maybe
want,
his
bro.
students are watching. I
wasting
want
your
his
breath.
students to realize
feel like you're
there's
giving
nothing
that
they can
person
learn
what
from
they're
this.
Well,
I'm
let's see if his boss is watching.
I'm
The
gonna-
actual professor instead
I'm
of the
going to say
assistant.
one thing.
You're wasting your breath.
One of, with all due respect to everyone, because I don't really know what's going on, but one of my favorite verses in the Bible, Matthew 7:6, don't give your pearls to pigs. So I live by that. Don't give your
Yes.
pearls to pigs. So to go back to what
He's
I was
the pearl?
saying, yeah, and everything that he's
Yeah,
saying is
Shai-
the pearls.
Shai wants to know how to go about sponsoring a room.
Of course. Thank
Yeah,
you so much
of
for
course,
asking.
of course.
So, anyone that is interested in sponsoring a room, you definitely can contact us. I'm sure we'll have some kind of contact information written on this post. We have a list of rooms here with their corresponding prices. Starts anywhere from 10K and goes up from there, of course, all depending on what kind of room it is and the square footage. The room that Armon sponsored is the therapy room, and
And there's a reason why I want
I'll leave you to
yeah.
that.
because I had a discussion with Armine and we talked about kind of where the rooms are going to be, and the therapy room is something kind of close to heart to me because I think it's going to be because of what I do for a living. I'm in healthcare. I deal with people who are dealing with terminal illnesses, and that's a whole different set of challenges mentally for them, for their family versus financial poverty. But ultimately, everybody needs that psychological kind of, in a sense, services or the help to be able to
Heal.
and to move on and to move forward. So, and because of my dad's passing also last year, I couldn't think of a better room for myself for my
In memory of.
in memory of my father, and I'm also going to include my mother's name, who she's
Live
she's
and
with
well
us.
with
Yes,
us.
yeah,
Yes,
she's live and
thank
well
God.
with us. But it's kind of that room just had a lot of meaning to me. The fact that it could help people get out of that mental. Today I'm losing my vocabulary because
Uncertainty in
I'm
life.
emotional about this whole project.
know,
That's
I know,
why
Ramon.
yeah. So
And-
to me, that therapy room was very very close to home, where I think a lot of families, single moms, a lot of kids will benefit from. Every room is fantastic. Don't get me wrong. Every room has its own beautiful meaning and purpose. But for me, the therapy room was something that I felt was special to me. So that's why I decided to sponsor that particular room under my parents' name.
I want you to know, sorry to interrupt, that first of all, thank you from the bottom of my heart and on behalf of my family and I, and on behalf of the Fly Charity and our teams, for your heartfelt generosity, Armand. This isn't the first time. You have stood by Fly for years, since the moment you reached out and wanted to help 4 years ago. I won't forget that day. You reached out to us, and I remember my mom and I came and visited you at your office, and we had, I don't know how long of a conversation, and you just sat there and you listened so keenly and so interested. And you know when someone cares and when someone is interested because they listen. Okay.
Yeah.
And we felt that from the first day, and the rest was history. And I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for everything that you've done for our families and our kids, for our cause, for your trust, for believing in our work. And this isn't the only thing you've done. You've purchased 2 homes, and you've moved out 2 of these families that have lived in these severe measures of poverty in these containers. You're the reason that they have a new life forever, and they have you to thank for the rest of their lives.
Well, my
And-
brother and I have to mention.
Yes,
my
your brother and
my
I,
brother
of
is never.
course.
I'm the guy that's always in the
I love
limelight.
that. I love
My
that.
brother's
I
in the-
apologize. Of course,
Yeah.
you and your
Arsen is the
brother.
behind the
Yeah,
scenes
he's,
guy.
yeah, he's the
I love
scenes
it.
type of guy. But everything that we do,
Of
we do
course.
it together on behalf
Thank
of
you
our
so
family.
much.
So it's not just me.
Of course,
Yeah.
both of you. Thank you both so much. God bless you and your families.
Yeah.
And I have to say that this
Well,
group-
before you say anything on that, before you get into this, Arno is asking. He's asking if
course.
the organization does a monthly donation, where you basically it's kind of like an automated thing.
Of course, yeah. When
Okay.
you go to our website, you have an option of one-time donation or recurring monthly. Of
perfect.
course. Thank you so much.
Arno, there you go. Now go ahead.
So what I was going to say is what's so meaningful and incredibly beautiful about the room that you picked is that the room that you picked, Armand, it's like the core of the Fly Center, because my mom brings up a beautiful example. She says, you can be the wealthiest person in the world. You can have it all. But if you're broken from the inside, you cannot do a damn thing.
Exactly.
And other than everything that this center is going to be focused on for long-term solutions and job training and education, it's going to be heavily focused on mental health and well-being, because without that, we can't do anything, and our kids and our moms can't do anything. And, whoever's been listening, who has heard of the traumatic past that these children and these moms have had, needless to say how much work they need, how much therapy they need to be able to let all that go. Talk about PTSD, talk about trauma, talk about all kinds of things that these kids and these moms suffer from the domestic violence they face, to the nights that they've spent hungry, to not being able to bathe, to every ounce of suffering they face. That's not just going to disappear with a push of a button. Like you said, it's not going to happen overnight. So it's going to take days and weeks and months and years of hard work to be able to let all that go and heal from from it and realize there's a life beyond all that suffering, that life has given them a new chance and their life is not going to continue in the direction that it was, and a whole new beautiful life awaits for them. So I want you to know what a special room that you picked. And every child that walks out of that room, and I say this emotionally with goosebumps, every child and mother that walks out of that room, God willing, that will be healed and will be ready to begin a bright new life. It's going to be done with the spirit of your dad, and of course with your mom's spirit that is alive and well. Thank God. So I want to really, really thank you for that.
And, I look, you guys do all the hard work. Like I've always said, it's easy to write a check, but it's difficult to do what you guys are doing. To the time you dedicate and the commitment, the compassion you guys have, and you're covering. In my opinion, there's 4 very important legs in life. It's just like, imagine we're sitting around this table, right? We're sitting on chairs. There's 4 legs. If one of those legs is a little short, you're gonna be wobbly. You're not gonna be comfortable. Your life has 4 different legs. It's spiritual, physical, financial, and psychosocial. Those 4 legs have to be aligned. And you guys are covering all those 4 legs when these families sign up to your program, because you're covering everything. You're giving them the education they need to become financially independent. You're giving them the spiritual support that they need, right? And the physical support that they need. And on top of that, the psychosocial that they need. So you're covering all those 4 legs, which is going to give them a balanced life where they can attain anything they want in life. And that's very important, in my opinion, about your organization, that you guys cover all 4 aspects.
Thank you so much. You know, you'd be amazed when you realize what happens when you give hope to someone that was once hopeless, when you give love to someone that is neglected and abandoned. And, you know, thousands of families can attest to this. They say, although everything that you've provided us is something that we needed incredibly and we never could afford to provide, that put aside, the hope, the love, the care, the strength, the time that you gave us, that you found us worthy of, is priceless, is worth much more than anything that you could give us, because that's what actually moves mountains, right? When someone feels important, that they feel cared for, that they feel loved. Because can you imagine living in that container your whole life, and then you have a big group of people come from all over the world, from Syria, from Armenia, from America. They're all huddled up in your house, a group of 10 people, and they're saying, how can we help you change your life? Literally. And our organization is very faith-based, because, you know, we want these families to know that, of course, there's thousands of families in Armenia that need help, but the fact that we're there is not a coincidence. It's a combination of their prayers, our prayers that connect, and, you know, it's by the grace and the will of God that we're there ready to help them.
Absolutely.
Beautiful.
We've got actually one of our viewers, Ani Gullickson, who says, will there be prayer, faith room, Bible study room? I'd love to sponsor that. God has done so many miracles for me as a single mom and an immigrant. So what a way to make
Maybe
a
we
difference.
could read off the different rooms that are available.
Oh my goodness. Thank you so much. We definitely are going to have a Bible study program there. We're going to have a room dedicated to it. And we are definitely going to have a chapel as well. So I definitely can connect with her, or any possible way. I definitely will let you know, hon. So just to read off rooms for you guys to know. And of course, anyone that's interested can contact me. I'll be more than happy to meet with you or talk to you about what we have. So, for example, there's cafeteria, there's auditorium, dance room, art classroom, kitchen, social worker office, library, computer classroom, hairdressing classroom, sewing classroom, robotics classroom, principal's office, board office, teacher's conference room, science classroom, math classroom, language classroom, history classroom, cosmetology classroom, crafts classroom, nurses room, reception, music classroom, accounting room, maintenance room, therapy room, security room. So till now, we have therapy room. Thank you to Armand. We have the accounting room, the music room, and the reception taken. So 4 out of all of these. Thank you so much to our generous donors. So the rest of the rooms, guys, are open to anyone that wants to sponsor.
And the range is from
10 to 50.
$10 to $50,000.
10 to 50.
To answer your question, and to reiterate, yes, like we mentioned earlier, you guys could do either monthly donations if you just want to support the organization, as far as whatever you can, $50 a month, 100, you can put it on auto payment, or in this case, you can donate or sponsor a room and have kind of a permanent legacy, in a sense of all the change, the positive change that is to come for the people of Gyumri, you get to make a difference and uh,
Cement your legacy
yeah,
there.
yeah.
Not
It's
only yours, your family's, whoever's it is. Let me ask you guys a
Yes.
question on this. Let's say, for example, obviously, there's 10,000 to 50,000. What if there is somebody who's interested in donating into this, but is looking to basically break it down, whether it's throughout a year or throughout maybe a couple quarters?
Yeah, there's no problem.
Would you guys be
There's
okay
no
with something
problem
like
with
that?
that? Of course, because we already need 2 years for this to be built anyway. So of course, there's no problem if someone commits to it, like pledges to a room and needs some time. Then that's no problem.
So look at it this way, guys. You could basically cut out some of the crappuccinos you're drinking.
you'll
and
have
literally
less,
put it
you'll
on
have
a
less diarrhea.
put it on. You could put it on some sort of a commitment to yourself, commitment to your family, commitment to a family in Armenia, and basically put it on a payment program.
Definitely.
And
then
look,
also-
there's no interest.
Yes.
It's all principle.
And then
Li-
also,
li-
we will be at the gala ourselves. So
Yes.
You can
You guys
take
wanna meet
pictures
the
with
wise
Edgar.
nuts?
yeah, all
Come
of you
meet
that
them.
You can get an autograph from Edgar. Okay.
we will be there. I will be there with my wife.
I love
Crazy
it.
as this sounds.
Just look at. Let me give you a perspective. Okay, like when I watch these kids' videos, especially the music you guys put, man, it's like fuck, makes me cry every time. It's
We'll have tissues.
when the music's not on.
No, when that little boy was talking about
Oh
his
my
dad and
God.
how he
It's
wants to
like-
grow up, and he's I don't want. Stop.
I just envision my sons, like if that was them. But let me give you a perspective of, and I'm just sharing my own personal feelings. I'm just we're I hate using the word privileged, but we are privileged to live where we live, to be able to have as much success as we want, and to be able to do anything we want anytime we want, as long as we work hard for it, right? But imagine, I have a 4 and a 2.5-year-old, right? And anytime I buy them anything, it never ever crosses my mind that, well, there's a child in Armenia who can use this toy. There's a child and I'm not saying that in a bad way that it doesn't cross my mind. It does cross my mind, but it doesn't affect me. Why? Because I know I've already done my part as far as with Fly and a couple of other organizations that I work with and trust.
Your soul's at peace,
Yes.
basically. Yeah.
So whatever my kids want, if it's necessary for them to have, I don't blink twice, because I'm not thinking, you know what, maybe this money could go to better use. No, the better use has already been taken care of. And the reason I'm sharing this perspective is because as a parent especially, once you do that, then you have the freedom to literally do anything for your kids that you want. But if you're not doing that, you cannot have the freedom to. Doesn't matter what income level you're at, $30,000 a year, $300,000 a year, $30 million a year, whatever you make, fantastic. But you still have to. There's a portion of it that once you give it away, as cliche as it sounds, then you have that mental freedom to do whatever you want with your life. Go to a restaurant every night, spend $1,000 on steak if you can. But prior to doing all that, do your part, and I promise you will have zero guilt spending all the money on any other crap you want. Your Louis Vuittons, your Starbucks, your
Cappuccinos.
Crappuccinos, as you say it. Just that's just I'm just sharing my perspective as far as it completely changed the dynamics of when it comes to your finances. You're like, okay, that doesn't matter at this point. And of course we all have room to do more. I'm not saying, right, you can always do more. And there's some people who donate 30% of their income. Some people will donate 3%. That's fine. There's always room to do more. But the fact that you do anything will give you that peace of mind to do anything you want here and enjoy your privilege, as the liberals call it.
I always say, live your best life, work your hardest, have it all. There's no shame in that. Just don't forget to help other people. Like, that is the principle that I live my life by. And exactly what Armand said, to have that peace and that fulfillment in your heart, to know that your hard work is changing people's lives and is bringing smiles to their face. There is no fulfillment in the world that can top that. So I definitely understand what you mean by that, Armand. which is why, I mean, going out twice a year to Armenia and personally witnessing all this myself, it's a very physically, mentally, spiritually, emotionally, very draining, very, very exhausting journey. Other than the fact that, you know, you're serving all day, you know, most times you don't have time to eat, you don't have time to use the bathroom, you're just going from house to house, house to house. And it's all very straining, mostly on your soul more than anything. But when you see the fruits of your labor and you see the lives that have been changed and the miracles that have come about, it makes all that worth it, you know. And you know, my dad's sitting right here in front of me. I'll attest on his behalf. So it was his first time to Armenia this past January with us. It was the first time he was able to join the past 7 years that we go, my mom and I. And there's one night that I'll never forget. So it was very cold, and he's obviously not used to the cold in Armenia. My mom and I already have such a thick skin. We're like, you know, like, get a grip, yalla, you'll be fine. So because in Gyumri you wear layers, you wear the tights, and you wear all these, so you're able to stay.
Did you forget your thermal at home?
It's called retus, I think.
Thermal, your thermal, yeah.
Damn.
So,
That's a
you know,
memory.
his time was limited. So we wanted to give him a little taste of everything, the poverty and the deliveries and the happiness and the pain and all of that. So it was after a long day of doing deliveries, and we got back home to the hotel, and, you know, we showered, and we're sitting there. He lays on the bed and he goes like, wow, oh my God, this is what you guys have been doing for the past 7 years, like all day. Like, this is a lot of work, and you're doing all of it just out of the goodness of your heart. Like, it's not like you're working for anyone or making anything. You're doing this because you want to do it. You need to do it. And he like had this like epiphany, like this moment of, wow, this is what my wife and my daughter have been doing. And that's the wow moment I'm talking about, that everyone will realize when they go and they personally take part in this work there.
What did you think they were doing, Vazgen? What did you think they were doing this whole time?
We have requests for Vazgen to join us on camera too.
Yeah, really? Do we?
You mind
have
sexing your
requests.
sexy face here for a moment?
Come on. Our numbers will go up if we get DJ Heartbeat on the show, you know? Bring your chair with you, Arma.
Come on.
And watch our internet connection here.
Oh my God.
There you
The
go.
man can lift. He works out every morning.
He's got his own personal gym and everything.
Hi, Daddy. Welcome, Heartbeat DJ.
Mr. Sanvelian himself. How are you, sir?
The
How are you
legend.
guys? Whoever doesn't know me, I'm her dad. Okay.
Older brother.
Yes.
So,
Thank you guys for having us.
Of course, man. Of course. The first question: you take a flight with the family, and you step foot in Armenia for the first time. What was your reaction?
I mean, when
How did they receive
actually
you,
we
Vazgen?
first actually we first landed, there was the whole Zurna,
Yeah,
the whole Zurna team. You know,
They came from Gyumri. We
poor
surprised
guys. They
them.
came all the way from Gyumri, and it was amazing. And the scenery was like, I was like one of the vice president or something. Everybody was looking at me, but it was great. But the feeling of being in Armenia, it's totally different. I mean, I'm born in Lebanon, but every time I go to Lebanon, I have tears. But the thing is, like, Armenia is totally different because it's your motherland, and it's two different things. So I had a great time, especially when I experienced what they've been doing for the last 7 to 8 years. I wasn't expecting this much at all, but I saw it personally, and I felt every single second what they live with, those domigs, with those containers, with that smell, with that poverty and everything. But now I know what you guys been doing.
And let me tell you, this one's a sensitive one. Like he
Yeah.
might not
We
show
all
it.
know that.
He's a sensitive one, and you know, I've gotten to, as close as I am to my dad, I've gotten to get him. I've gotten to know him even better and on a closer level, especially when we went to Armenia. And most times he'd get choked up and he'd have to walk out of the
Yep.
container. It was really tough for him.
It's tough.
You
It's
know, and that's why I say, you know, a lot of people get amazed because they know how emotional, how sensitive my mom and I are. But when God calls you, he will equip you with the strength to be able to handle whatever he throws at you. And yeah, it never gets any easier. I will always say, guys, you develop a thicker skin, but it will never get any easier to watch your people suffer to that extent. But you get stronger every year, you get wiser every year. And I think what I've learned over the years is, you know, I'm there being an empath, I feel their pain on my skin, but at that moment I shift my focus. I'm like, okay, what's the solution here? What can we do? How can we change this family's life? And I let myself get consumed by that rather than the pain, because if you let yourself be consumed by the pain, you'll break. And if you'll break, then you're not setting an example for that family, and there's nothing you can do for them, you know? So emotionally, yeah, it's incredibly heavy. It's the heaviest and the most difficult thing I've had to do, but at the same time, the most rewarding, the most fulfilling, because at the end of the day, it's all for God's glory, and it's all for our people, it's all for our homeland, and it's all to make this world a better place as much as we can. You know, that's the whole purpose behind all of this. And why I'm eternally grateful is that it's as if like all the puzzle pieces came together, every drop came together, added up to get us to this moment, to get ready to open our center. And this is the dream come true. This is what we've all been waiting for, because
This is it, guys.
because it's this center that's really gonna make lifelong changes. This is the center that's going to be the landmark that's going to change lives for generations to come. This is where all the magic is going to continue happening. And again, to remind everyone, anyone that is interested to sponsor a room at this center, you're welcome to reach out to us. Sponsorships are open, and as we mentioned, anyone that sponsors this room, your name will go on it forever, and a landmark that is going to create miracles in the lives of our people in need. I strongly encourage you guys to attend our gala. Wise Nuts have all been there. They can attest to the experience that they've had. I promise every single one of you, even if, let's say, you don't donate prior to coming to the gala or you don't sponsor a room, just come to the gala, and I promise you, you will leave that night being moved, touched, and inspired in a way that you never have before, because the energy in that room, the emotion, the depth of everything that you will feel will really, really move mountains, and will really, when you go home that night and you go to sleep, you're really gonna be at peace, and you're really gonna be happy, because you're gonna know that there is an organization really working from the heart and from the soul to make sure that every penny goes where it needs to go, and every penny is used to make a profound difference in the lives of our brothers and sisters in need. So I encourage all of you, the first Sunday of November, November 6th, 5 p.m. at Palladio in Glendale. How to get tickets, there is a link. I'm not sure, have we posted this anywhere? If not, we can always include it in the comments.
Here's what we're gonna do. On the YouTube page, on the Facebook page, on the Spotify, iTunes, all that stuff, we'll basically post a link directly to your website.
It's the Zephy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a link directly to buy tickets.
Yeah. So we'll
Yeah, Zephy.
we'll get the link from you.
Okay.
We'll have the link on top.
Okay.
Underneath it, we'll have the gala information, all that information that you guys need, and then below that, we'll have a link to
Make a donation.
make a donation.
Sure, of course. Of course. Okay, so basically,
Yeah. Because you got to give us a breakdown of those, because I know you had another sheet.
Yes,
Because I
okay.
wanted to go over that before we obviously.
Okay, are you
Plus,
talking-
we had another generous donation
Did we?
from John.
What did we have?
15K, bro.
John says,
Well, we're
if-
not. Don't disclose anything with John. I just
Hold
had-
on. Don't disclose anything if he hasn't.
what?
Don't disclose anything with John. He wants to keep it private for now.
Oh, okay.
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 He made a public comment, but okay.
It's okay.
So one other sponsorship opportunity that I want to inform you guys about is for business owners. So these booklets we have on everyone's seat at the gala, and half of it is filled with what work that the charity has done that year, and the other half is filled with ads. This is a great opportunity for business owners to place their ads, because you're going to get great exposure the night of the gala with the 400 people that will see your ad in this booklet, along with the thousands more that will see it the whole year that we pass these out. Along with that, I think this is the list you were talking about.
Yes.
Each of these packages for the ads gets its own benefits. For example, a half a page ad in the booklet, you get your logo on a huge LED screen that's going to be running most of the night. That's $1,000. The full page is $2,000. You get your full page in the ad in the booklet. You get your logo on the backdrop and LED screen, and you get 2 free tickets and special acknowledgement, so on and so forth. So these packages go from $1,000 and up. So technically, the deadline for this is in like 2 days. We're cutting a little close, but anyone that's watching that has a business that finds it in their heart that wants to put an ad for their business, please contact us, because it's not too late. We can definitely squeeze your ad in here, and at least you can benefit from getting free tickets for this.
And look at it this way as well. If you got an extension on your taxes, and you're going to be doing your taxes,
Might as well.
talk to your accountant. Instead of giving it to Uncle Sam, you give it to Armenia.
Or if you're a business owner,
There you go. And for general
that.
tickets, you guys, tickets are a $200 donation. Of course, that includes food and drinks and everything for the entire evening. And that can be purchased on the link that we will post. It's a link from a website called Zephy. And you can purchase there, and you can purchase as many as you want. We just ask for your name, last name, email, your general information, and then you will get a ticket in your email that you'll just show us the day that you come, and we'll scan it and you'll come right in. So, and that's how you guys purchase tickets.
There you go.
But just to let you guys know, they didn't check my ticket last time.
Well, last time
We're more high tech this
Last
time.
time we had physical. We had physical tickets. Yeah. This time we're all online. We're saving papers.
I just walked right in, had a great.
They're not only saving lives, they're saving trees
That's
as
why
well.
we're missing one ticket from
Last
God.
year.
That was
Got
you.
it.
I promise. I did.
Oh my goodness.
Well, it's you know what, it's very refreshing. I know we see you guys obviously outside the podcast, but it's very refreshing to see you guys on
Thank
screen
you,
in
thank
front
you,
of a
thank you,
microphone again after 2 years of not being with us.
longer. 2019, 2020, 3 years.
3 years.
3 years.
Well,
And
we
I
don't
didn't-
count 2020.
I know.
2020 doesn't
We don't count
count.
COVID. I didn't even realize how long it's been until I came and I noticed that, it looks different. You guys are like, yeah, it's been a while. I'm like, I haven't been here in the longest time.
Can I have the honor to invite the founder?
Yes.
Yes,
I was just
yes.
going to say that.
We were
Mom,
gonna say
let
before
everyone meet the
before
founder.
before ending the show, we wanted to have
Yes.
Caroline on
Yes.
on
Hi,
camera
Mama.
as well.
Let's
This is
have
the
the
founder.
Guys, here's a
Backbone.
backbone
Caroline,
founder
to the
herself,
middle,
Samuel.
Carolina.
You're good in the steel. Finally.
This is Sanvelian herself.
Hi, Mom.
We'd love for you to say a little something as well before we wrap it up.
Okay.
Something from the heart. What can I tell you?
This is the woman behind it all. The woman that had the calling and made the decision and decided to dedicate her entire life to this cause and making a difference. She's the one that started. I can't take credit for that. I just followed her along the journey, and I became the co-founder along with her. And thanks to her, I found my purpose, and I found the whole meaning of this life. And she gave me the opportunity, of course, through God, to do that. So thank you for that, and thank you for giving all of us the chance to be able to contribute to something so noble and so trustworthy, and something that goes a long way in making a difference. So, floor is yours.
You covered everything. I don't know what else I could possibly say except thank the Wise Nut Group for having us here. Thank you, Armand. From the bottom of our hearts, thank you guys for giving us this opportunity to be here live with you guys, present the charity, present the gala. Just really appreciate everything, all your efforts. Thank you, Armand, again, for everything you've done from day one for this charity. Thank you for going and visiting. That meant so much to us.
That
We were
wasn't
so
a coincidence,
excited.
by the way. The fact that this happened right before the gala and our fundraising for the center, I know that this was divine.
And you haven't been there for 30 years,
Yeah.
you said? Yeah, that's not a coincidence. I want to thank my family for always, my angel, for being the backbone, as I always say, being the wings of this charity, as it is, as she named it, actually. She named the Freedom Loving Youth name. She gave the name to this charity 10 years ago. I want to thank her for being with me step by step, every step of the way. We do everything together. I'm so blessed to have this angel. Without her, none of this would have happened. Yes, the calling is there. Yes, the love was there. Yes, everything was there for, me to take action and actually want to bring this together and start. But then, you can't clap with one hand. I want to thank my daughter. I want to thank our team here in Los Angeles, my husband. I want to thank my husband for always giving us the space to live this dream. Not even once for the past 10 years he had said, it's like with all the meetings we have, with all the travelings we do to Armenia, never once has he complained and said,
Enough,
enough. Thank you for your support, babe. I want to thank our team here in LA, all our Fly Charity team members, for being a part of this. Anybody who has contributed from the past all the way till today, a lot of people came in and left because, of their, personal lives and schools and stuff. But thank you. I want to tell everyone who has put their hearts into this charity that every drop of love you put in there will go a long way. It has gone a long way. and it is like fruitful. Anything that's built with love will
Not fail.
not fail, never fail. Thank you. Actually, I'm looking at your computer, but I should.
I know, I did that too.
First time.
Thank you all for watching, you guys.
We want to also thank our incredible team in Armenia, Armine.
How
my
many
next
people
thing.
do you have
That
in
was
your
my
crew in
next.
Armenia?
We have Armine, Herine, we have Arthur, Garo, and Martin.
Yes,
One more name over there.
and Narine.
And Narine,
Look
yes.
at that.
yes,
So we have
yes.
total of 6.
Six people
So-
behind the
It's
curtains.
amazing.
So I don't know how to describe this. Every one of us, like starting from me and all the way to all the team members here and there, and me and Armine in Armenia, we always say, I tell her, if it wasn't for you, like, how was I going to do all this? And she goes, if it wasn't for you, how would any of this happen? And yes, if it wasn't for any one of us coming together, this would not have happened. So our hands all together, joined with love, we're making miracles happen. Thank you to my dedicated Fly Armenia chapter. Thank you, Armine. Thank you, Martin, Herine, Narine, Garo, Arthur, all of you. You guys
They're the real heroes
they
behind
are
the curtain.
heroes who were there during the war, delivering to hundreds and hundreds of families who fled from Artsakh, deliver everything from A to Z, for they fled only with the one set of clothes they had on.
They risked their
We-
life. They went to the borders to help the soldiers
we
as
served
well.
over 800 families that fled Artsakh, that came to the regions of Shirak and Lori. We helped many. We did big projects, and it was all because of them. I remember one day they sat in the big truck, and we had a huge delivery to take to the soldiers to the
In
city of
Marduni.
Marduni, where bombs were right and left. And I was so scared, and I said, Armina, I don't know if I want you guys to go. She goes, don't worry, God is with us. They drove all the way there, delivered
Risked.
everything by hand. And I don't know, God bless you guys. I love you guys. Thank you, everyone.
Yeah, it's all of us
One
coming
thing
together.
about the team in Armenia
Closer to the mic.
is like, let's say Garo or Arthur, right?
Uh-huh.
Daytime they serve all the family. Then all of a sudden you see them grabbing the camera, taking. I mean, one guy does everything.
Like a one-man show,
One-man
yeah.
show. It's
Our
amazing.
team, there's one thing, I don't know if you guys covered this before I got here, but all our work, everybody that works for this charity is volunteer based. Our team there, yes, one is taking pictures, another is doing the camera work, another, but at the end of the day, everyone delivers, everyone carries boxes, everyone is there in the interviews. They cry with us, they're happy with us. Everybody's volunteer.
It's a
Our
family.
team out here in LA, everyone is volunteer. We don't have expenses of offices. We don't have employee expenses. We don't have insurances, none of that.
No overhead whatsoever. in
No
this.
overhead whatsoever. Everything directly goes to the cause, to the families, to the children.
And that's done on purpose. The reason that we've decided
Another
to
thi-
stay grassroots like this is because when you become big to that extent, unfortunately, you're going to have an increase of expenses and you're going to have proceeds be dispersed to all those costs. And we don't want that to happen. We want every dollar to go where it needs to go.
Another thing is I like the way you guys buy everything in Armenia
Yeah.
because that also helps the economy. When you
Yes.
take things from here, you're paying so much shipping and so expensive out of here. Where
Unnecessary
that money
overhead.
can actually buy everything they need in Armenia.
Yes, a lot
Which is
of people
great
ask
idea.
us that if we ship it from here, and I say no, we buy everything there, exactly to save on the shipping cost. Unless, let's say, some people reach out and they want to send things.
Yes, we've had that.
Yeah,
before.
Yeah,
so
that's okay.
we give
The
them
toy
our
drive with my
address, and
wife's
they do,
cousins.
they send it themselves, which is totally, great. We've done a lot of that, but yeah.
And
what
one
else?
thing
so you
that-
guys finally got me up here.
Finally, after all
Finally.
these years, my God.
Caroline's getting more comfortable with us.
You
We've
can
been
get her a
inside
shot of
their
whiskey.
home.
She'll get more
I think
comfortable.
maybe the
Oh,
next
alcohol.
next time around we'll have you on the mic.
One thing that I want to note, you guys, everyone that's on social media, on Facebook, on Instagram, please follow Fly's page. On Facebook, it's Freedom Loving Youth. On Instagram, same, except just put freedom.loving.youth. Follow Fly's page because every project that's completed by the charity is posted for the public to witness. Not a single project is completed that is not shown. So transparency is one of the greatest things that the charity emphasizes upon because we firmly believe that it is every donor's right to see where their contributions are going, where their hard-earned money is going, and at the same time be able to share that joy felt in giving along with us. We want you guys to be happy with us, to know that your contribution is making a difference, is going an incredibly long way, and every penny is reaching its destination. So follow our pages and you'll be able to see every completed project there, and it'll really put a big smile on your face.
You guys are doing an amazing job at what you guys are doing right now.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Anything else before we cue the music?
November 6th.
November
November
6th.
Please be there. Be
Yes.
there and contact us if you guys are interested. Any sponsorship opportunities for the booklet business owners or for the center rooms.
Guys, we've posted the breakdown for donations and for the rooms and for the gala. We have the flyer up on our Facebook page and on our Instagram page. But just to reinform everybody who's going to be listening to this tomorrow on Spotify and iTunes and all the major platforms, November 6, 2022, Sunday at 5 p.m. It will be at Palladio, 1018 East Colorado Street in the city of Glendale, 91205. For reservations, call 818-441-4678, or you could email info@fly.care. That's fly.care. And obviously, you could visit their website for additional information. Donations start at $200.
Thank you guys so much for the opportunity. God bless you guys, and let's do this together. Thank you guys.
Thank you
you,
guys,
everybody.
You know what? Thank you guys for everything you guys are doing. Everybody else, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for all the comments. Thank you for all the questions. And you know what? I'm going to thank everybody for all the future donations as well ahead
I
of
hope
time.
to see all of you at the gala.
We'll see you at the gala.
We'll see you guys at the gala.
Yes.
Everybody have a great week. Have a great weekend. And we will see you all next Monday.
Thank you.